You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers, Kerey Davis, Bradford Bruns, pinch hitting for Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Tonight, we've got Blues hockey. They're back in action. And Jamie?
Yeah, let's go Blues, baby.
Coach Monty's making some lineup changes for
he's
tonight.
Always busy, that guy.
Yeah, Blues Jets. Pregame at 6 o'clock. The puck will drop at around 7 o'clock. You can listen to all the coverage on your home of the Blues, 101 ESPN. So, Jamie, tell us the latest changes to the lines, and what do you think Coach Monty's looking to extract out of the boys tonight?
Yeah, first line stays the same. I wouldn't imagine he's touching that. So Holloway, Thomas, and Kerber will remain together. Pavel Buchnevich goes from the fourth line to the second line, back to the center ice position, and he will be centering Jake Neighbors and Jonathan Berggren. So we'll see a bit of a new look there. And then the third line is Dvorsky, Kerber, and Stenberg. So Stenberg back in, Kerber dropping in the lineup, at least in theory. We'll see how much ice time he gets, because sometimes it doesn't matter where you're at. Sometimes guys get more ice time, but we'll see. And then the fourth line, Nathan Walker, back in the lineup, Toropchenko and Jack Finley. And then the decor stays the same, and Jordan Binnington will be in the starters net tonight.
So walk us through the thought process.
No, he's on the fourth line.
Walker.
Yeah.
Walk us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry for the confusion on that. Yeah, no.
He's playing well, too.
He's playing really well.
He's way better than
fantastic.
fourth line.
Yeah. No, Jamie, walk, pause, us through what Monty's thinking.
Yeah. I think he's looking to get guys back in there, too. Like, the percentages are like 0.1% of making the playoffs or something.
So you saying you got a chance?
You got a chance. You just never know. But I still think Coach Montgomery's coaching to win hockey games. Like, this isn't like he's throwing in the towel. I think he needs more ice time for Pavel Buchnevich. Got to get him going. Stenberg, he's been sitting out a couple of games. Get him back in the lineup. Get him going.
Yep.
Nathan Walker, who's been an unbelievable teammate, by the way. He has been scratched a lot down the stretch. He comes back in, and maybe it's that little jolt of energy that the team needs. So I don't see these moves as big strategic moves. Drouin comes out. Pius Suter, a little bit of a surprise there. A little bit of surprise that Pius Suter is out of the lineup right now in lieu of some other guys that will be playing the center ice position, namely Pavel Buchnevich, who's kind of taking Suter's spot there in the middle. But, again, these not major moves. We'll see if they lose tonight. For whatever reason, then they're almost guaranteed. They will be pretty much guaranteed not to make the playoffs. We'll see what the lineup, what happens then. But maybe you guys feel differently. I just feel like it's getting some guys back in that weren't in before.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I agree with that. I think trying to find some combination of secondary scoring, the first line is going to do an outstanding job, but maybe you shuffle the deck a little bit and, put players in, and you got Booch going back to center, which I thought we were past that experiment, but
we
we've seen
keep going back to it
multiple times this
year.
That
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, can't get away.
It's really not working.
Well, but you find
your way back there.
Sometimes it does work.
Sometimes there's reasons.
Yeah, you got a few reasons why you keep going back. But it's
She's got our CDs.
That's
my jean jacket.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
So maybe just trying to figure out that
Can't break up with her. She's got all my CDs.
That secondary scoring and figure out how to get the deck to work in your favor. I don't know. I think this offseason, and granted, you still got 5 games left, 4 games, whatever it is, and you got 0.1. You still got a chance. But I think this offseason is going to be a really intriguing one.
Yeah.
Because I think you're confident and very comfortable with that first line. You're confident with the goaltending tandem. You're confident with the defensive pairings and how that is shaken out, and you probably add to that. But you're going to have to find some way, somehow, to get better offensively.
Oh, yeah.
And some more scoring besides Robert Thomas, Dylan Holloway, and Jimmy Snuggerud.
Well, you got to get your guys. You got to get your big money guys going.
Yeah.
Like Kyrou and Booch got to be way better offensively. I know Buchnevich, Coach Monty does a great job of sometimes being the politician. And what I mean by that, with all due respect to Coach Montgomery, is he doesn't really talk about Booch's lack of offense that much. He seems to highlight how good he is defensively. So, which he's not wrong. He's not lying. He is good defensively. But he's just not going to talk about the fact that he's not scoring goals.
That was also the case this morning.
Yeah.
During the presser, lauding the two-way play of Booch. But to me, obviously, Jamie, the headliner here is number 89. And maybe it's a byproduct, really, of what we have created, the energy we've exhausted over the past couple of days. Oh, he sat out a game. Oh, he went down to the fourth line. Oh, maybe the Blues are trying to figure out some configuration for next season, maybe involving a Pavel Buchnevich on line number 4. Were we simply reading too much into that, and it was a momentary move? Basically, hey, here's a reality check. You've suited up for each and every game this season, through everything. You're out. You're down to the fourth. Now you're back in line number 2.
Yeah. We just anything to do with a veteran player right now like that, we're just reading into too much. I think the number one thing we should be focusing on is if you're starting to see young players get opportunities in situations that they ordinarily wouldn't. And what I mean by that is if Stenberg finds his way onto a power play, things like okay, what do we think he can show us so that we can put it in the books and see what it looks like in preseason next year or training camp? You're not doing that with Pavel Buchnevich. It's not like you're saying, let's play him on the fourth line because we're going to plan so far ahead with an $8 million player that we're going to have him on the fourth line next year to start the season.
Yeah.
That ain't the case. That's just not the case. And with Jordan Kyrou, if he finds his way out of the lineup, that doesn't mean he's not on your team next year. It just means he's out of the lineup for that game. And I don't even know if that'll happen. Who knows? He's the type of guy that might score 2 goals tonight. And then also, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, well, yeah, that guy, he can play. Which is part of the problem for not just Jordan Kyrou, for a lot of guys on this team, where they score, in bunches and then they disappear for extended periods of time. Like, I love Jake Neighbors. Said this before. Hey, well, he could date my daughter. He's a great guy. But where's the goals been? Where's the offense been from him? He's kind of been invisible when it comes to producing offense.
Which daughter?
Well, it would be Carson.
Yeah.
He's quite a bit older than
he's a little
McKinnon.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. But in a couple of years.
Now I understand, CD.
A couple of years, maybe,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Even
I had a coach ask me that. I was coaching high school.
Did you date his daughter?
No. He asked me.
That was nice of him.
No.
Did he have you over for dinner?
No. Let me finish. I was coaching, and he was recruiting a kid. He's like, tell me, would you let this young man date your daughter? I was like, oh.
It's a great question.
I said, no, not him.
In fact, 99% of the team, I wouldn't allow to date my daughter.
I do got a couple of kids that I would, but I don't know if you want them to play for you, coach. So, yeah, not that one. Definitely not that one.
It's funny, right? Like, over the course of your career.
Good question.
Over the
It
course
was a
of your
great
career,
question.
Yeah.
how many guys could you honestly say, oh, yeah, I'd let them date my daughter?
Probably 2. Players that I coached, probably 2.
Yeah, no, but players you played with, too.
Oh, that I played with?
Yeah, that maybe a little bit better,
Why don't we go with babysit one of your kids as opposed to dating your daughter?
Well, we're talking
But that's two different kinds of responsibility.
Like the same age.
Like, I would trust
making it
you
the
to
same
babysit
age.
my kids.
Yeah.
Well, your kids are older.
Baby steps.
Have you met them?
That's true.
Anthony might get there and be like,
That's
you know
true.
what, Jamie?
Yeah, this ain't worth it,
That's
Jamie.
not what I signed up for.
But having someone who can keep your kids alive is different than having them date your daughter.
That is very true.
Yeah, good call.
I had one
Like John
teammate that
Rambo could keep your kids alive.
Damn right he
Don't
could.
know if I want him dating my daughter, though. He's got some issues, you
Yeah,
know?
a little bit.
I had one teammate that I would let watch my kids. Like, I trusted he was good dude. Like, you can watch, you and your wife, go ahead. There's a few I'd be like, my son might come back a completely different. Like, I love Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't leave my son Xavier with him when he was playing.
Do you know what I could teach that kid?
Yeah, I do. That's why I wouldn't leave him with you.
He's been watching Lincoln. You see how Lincoln's turned out.
Quiet, Anthony. You're not helping.
Uncle Jamie said this is okay. No, it's not. It's not
In
the way
prison.
to go about it.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a very good question.
All right.
How'd we get here?
I don't know.
I actually don't know. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Do we ever? I mean, honestly, do we ever know how we get to a certain spot? Since the beginning of March, the Blues are a Western Conference leading 12-3-3, 27 points over that span. The Blues own a 20-plus goal differential since the beginning of March compared to a minus 52 mark prior to March. And the Blues shut out the Jets 1-0 in their most recent matchup. That was at Enterprise Center on December 17th. Blues fans have sold out 11 consecutive home games. So keep it going. Blues fans certainly doing their part. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do this after every Cardinals series. Highs and lows for the Cardinals following the series against the Nationals. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Want more Blues talk? Check out the Last Minute Blues podcast with Alex Ferrario, Donnie Fandango, and Jeremy Rutherford on 101 ESPN. The guys bring you the latest news and nuggets on your St. Louis Blues.
The Last Minute Blues podcast is presented by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Your St. Louis roofing experts. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for free inspection. Watch or listen to the Last Minute Blues podcast now on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com.
The Fast Lane is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel has your back with a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got the protection to take that sleeper pick or make a bold prediction. If you're backing someone to win it all, go for it. Like someone to finish in the top 5, lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket and you're ready to go. Maybe you like Scotty Scheffler to win it all. Maybe you want to take Tommy Fleetwood to finish in the top 5. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want to do. That's how it works. Just go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. You must be 21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Love TMA? Then nominate yourself to be the Morning After Listener of the Month, and you could be selected and score a Form Energy prize pack. Sign up now at 101ESPN.com or TMASTL.com. The TMA Listener of the Month Club is presented by Form Energy. We do the work. This is The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And he smashes that towards center. Young on the fly. Warning track. Whoa! Jordan does it again. Walker with a home run to extend the lead. His 4th home run in the last 5 days.
Chip Carey on the call, Cardinals TV network yesterday. Jordan Montgomery touches seats again. He homered in all 3 games against the Nationals. And as we transition into our highs and lows for the Cardinals series, we've been doing this each series. And, well, gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun, too, because they've won the majority of those series. The only one that they lost was the weekend series in Detroit against the Tigers, a series in which, while they lost, they at least salvaged one game in that series by winning the Sunday night game. But if we're going to start with the highs of the Cardinals series against the Nationals, we start with Jordan Walker. 3 home runs, as I mentioned, now 5 home runs in his first 12 games after just 6 all of last season. This is the biggest storyline of the series. Walker looks, as we talked about yesterday, and as we've talked about really since day one with Walker, he has looked like a completely different hitter. He's more confident. That confidence has transitioned into consistent power, and this could be the early sign of a breakout season for a guy that we have been chomping at the bit to watch more and more grow.
Yeah, he looks confident. He looks comfortable. I think this offseason you could tell his body composition changed, whether it was losing weight or adding muscle. He looks a little bit different. His stance obviously is different, and his confidence is different. He's no longer chasing those pitches outside of the strike zone, almost falling over, and if he does hit them, he's rolling over the top of them and grounding out softly, to shortstop or third base. I think he's playing the game the way that it's supposed to be played. He's figured some things out. He's taken his time, and he's looking for the pitch that he can hit and hit it far. And the one thing that I never, I hear people and how, I heard all of the conversations about how terrible he was and how all of these things. And I've been steadfast in saying this. If you hit the ball as hard as he does, eventually, at some point, it's going to work in your favor because it's hard enough to hit a baseball. I think it's one of the hardest things to do in all of sports. Like, if you fail 70% of the time and anything else, if you only complete 30% of your passes at a quarterback, you're going to be fired. Mm-hmm. If you fail and get burnt 70% of the time as a cornerback, you're going to get fired.
That's not good.
There are, in any sport, for the most part, if you only save 30% of the shots that you face, you're going to get fired.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
probably won't see the second period, honestly.
Probably won't. So it's one of the hardest things, in my opinion, to do in sport. It is a skill set that not everyone possesses, and it takes time. And I think he's gotten to the point now, at least early on in the season, that some of the things that were broken before seem to be fixed, and it looks much better. And that's one of the things I also noted in spring training. Even though he was striking out, it wasn't the same type of strikeouts. It's not the chasing pitches low and away outside of the zone that you have no chance of doing anything with, but for whatever reason it was enticing to you. So you fix that. And again, there are going to be some other ways that pitchers attack him later on and further as we go further into this season. But right now, he's playing at a really high level.
Well, BT brought up something interesting. He was on with TMA this morning, and we talked to him yesterday, but he talked about the hands not moving as much while he's at the plate. But he brought up something too. He says that he thinks that Jordan Walker's figured out that he doesn't have to swing so hard because he's a big, powerful guy as it is. He's kind of maybe taking a little bit off, and then now he's not rolling the hands over like Carey was talking about. But it's just nice, smooth swing. And when you're that big and strong to begin with, all you got to do is barrel it, and it's going to do damage. So, and watching some of his at-bats earlier, it looks more relaxed. It doesn't look like he's trying to murder the baseball like every other time where he was throwing himself off balance last year, and it looked wonky, whereas it looks a lot smoother right now.
Mm-hmm. And yet, entering that series, he was still in the 99th percentile in hard hit rate in all of baseball. He just can make it conceivably look that easy. Let's also talk a bit about the guy directly ahead of him in the lineup yesterday, specifically Alec Burleson.
Yeah,
off
well, he
to a
had a great day.
slower start. But you began to see signs, especially from game one and then onward too. The 3 for 4 is lovely. The 3 runs batted in. You knew that average-wise he was going to turn it on sooner rather than later. Here's what I love, though. Seeing more and more of the patented batting eye. He drew 4 walks, gentlemen, in this series. And if you have 1 through 4 specifically in that lineup, basically working in tandem with one another, just think about the point at which Mason Wynn actually gets going offensively.
And
if he's
Herrera.
even, an average hitter for that matter moving forward, then you've really got the pieces in place, because pretty much this offense decimated, the Washington staff, granted, but obliterated them for the better part of 3 days.
They certainly did, including a resilient offense being shown in Game 2. I think that was another high, if we're talking about highs and lows. Comeback win down late, tied the game in the 8th, 1 in extras behind Thomas Sajaci and J.J. Weatherholt. Of course, Nathan Church had the big home run to tie it at 5-5, and Walker, his home run, kind of woke the bats up in that game. So I loved how they showed some fight, more clutch hitting, something that I think separates average teams from being playoff caliber ones. Not to suggest that this is going to be a playoff team, but we're evaluating what we're seeing right now, and I like that. Middle of the order production, too. Bradford just mentioned Alec Burleson, the 3 hits, 3 RBIs in Game 3, the walk production. Ramon Urias continues to be productive. He had a home run and 3 RBIs in Game 1. Contributions up and down in the lineup. So that I thought was another high.
The lineup has been, and has been really good. And you're still, as Bradford mentioned, you haven't gotten much from Mason Wynn. You haven't gotten much from Ivan Herrera just yet. You expect both of those guys to hit much better than they have been thus far. I'm optimistic about this team. I don't want to get too far out in front of it and think that they are a playoff team. I don't know. But if they win 80 games, if they win 82 games, if they win 78 games, I think that is still a really good season. And if you have players that are playing at the level that you have expected them to play at for the last few years and they're having success, then it's something that you can continue to build on. And I think that would be progress in the right direction.
CD, you brought up Mason Wynn and Ivan Herrera, and Bradford, you kind of mentioned this too. Both guys not contributing yet offensively. Neither guy, you never expected out of Mason Wynn, but neither guy has been a detriment defensively.
Correct.
No.
Wynn's a Gold Glover. Wynn's a stud. Herrera.
He caught one yesterday off. I think it bounced off of Urias or I forget who it bounced off of. But he threw a laser to throw the runner out in the ninth.
Is that the one up the middle?
It bounced off the third baseman. I think it was Urias, and he kind of fumbled it, and Wynn got it, and phew. He's probably going to win another Gold Glove.
He should. He's a stud. But Herrera has not been a absolute disaster defensively. In fact, he's been solid.
He's been the best catcher on the team, man.
Yes.
He's been very good.
He caught 2 of 3 games in that series. You don't want to read too much into it, but it's interesting
you kind of want
to
to read
think
into
about
it, don't you? Yeah. All right, if we transit, we got a whole segment dedicated to Michael McGreevy, who I thought there was another high for him too.
Yeah.
So we'll save that, our thoughts there. Just know that we're not ignoring one of the other highs being Michael McGreevy's start. But if we're going to talk about lows now, bullpen collapse in Game 1 needs to be talked about. 6-run, 8th inning, gave up 3 homers in 1 inning, turned a potential win into a loss, and the bullpen continues to be something that needs to be monitored. I don't know how else to say it. Inability to close out the games cleanly. I think, Game 1, they lost control late. Game 2, they needed extras, and they needed to battle back. But otherwise, I don't think there is much of big time lows throughout this series, which is great. All the time, the times that we've done this now, the highs and lows, the lows have almost been like you're nitpicking things, save for the bullpen.
Yeah.
And any other lows for you guys?
No. If the Cardinals can clean up their bullpen, it's still early. But if they can clean up the bullpen, all of a sudden they start looking a lot better in that division. I'm just saying. Now, the Big Red Machine's still going. You got to watch out for them. But
they lost 2 in a row now. They got whipped today.
They'll be back, yes.
Without Hunter Green. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, Swanson yesterday, 1 2/3 scoreless.
Good to
there
see.
You go. Even though,
bounce back
from a left field standpoint, because if you're nitpicking, if you're in the business of nitpicking, before this series, you could have said, all right, you're getting next to nothing out of Nathan Church. So JC, though, with a couple of hits, middle game of the set. Church did come up with a big one yesterday as well. You're getting just enough from the bottom portion of the order, too.
Red Sox come to town. So the Cardinals are off tonight. Red Sox come to town this weekend. Old friend Dustin May takes the hill
Oh, boy.
tomorrow in Game 1. He's got a 15.95 ERA.
Get your Big Mac Land tickets.
Well, but you know what? Miles Michaelis had a pretty high ERA going into yesterday's game, and he lowered it.
He
Well, he only pitched, what, 2.5 innings?
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
anything's possible.
Red Sox this weekend at Busch Stadium. What's trending is next on 101 ESPN.
Tune in every Friday from 11 to 2 as BK and Ferrario broadcast live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center on 101 ESPN. E&B Granite, Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring. And presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea.
Throughout the month of April, you're not going to find better deals on vehicles, both new and pre-owned, than in Herculaneum at Auto Centers Nissan. They've got over 1,000 new and used vehicles, providing one of the best selections in St. Louis. And they're all at the dealership, too. They don't make you chasing around. They don't say, hey, that's actually at another location 50 miles up the road. Why don't you get and just take the drive out there, then you can see the car that you want. No, at Auto Centers Nissan, when you see it online at autocentersnissan.com, you'll also see it at their dealership out in Herculaneum. The selection that they have is great. The deals that they have right now on Rogue, Pathfinder, Murano, and Frontiers, even better. Those models are eligible Those models are eligible for 0 payments for 6 months, 0 money down, and 0% APR for 60 months. Plus, remaining 2025 models have been discounted up to $11,000 off MSRP. Every new Nissan also comes with a 30-day return promise. And if you're not in the market for a new vehicle, check out their select used vehicles that qualify for 0 down and no payments for 3 months. Oh, by the way, if you go to autocentersnissan.com, up to $1,000 in additional savings can be found per vehicle. Just choose the vehicle that you like, hit the green Claim My Buyer's Bonus button, and you'll lock in your savings instantly. No gimmicks, no special qualifications, just real savings at autocentersnissan.com. When you do head out to Herculaneum, tell them that Anthony Stalter from 101 ESPN sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan, Herculaneum.
ESPN.
Big save on one end. Tie game on the other.
Tonight, Blues and Jets. Pregame at 6. Puck drop at 7.
Score! He tucks it in with a great move.
This is your exclusive home for Blues Hockey. 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN. Sports Center.
Blues and Jets set for battle. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. In about 4.5 hours, the Blues and Jets will get underway downtown. Puck drop set for 7 o'clock in this matchup at Enterprise Center. St. Louis taking on Winnipeg with pregame coverage starting at 6 p.m. Alex Ferrario bringing you the festivities. Baseball, the Cardinals idle today after taking 2 of 3 from Washington at National Park. Jordan Walker with a home run in 3 consecutive games, 5 now overall on the campaign. The Cardinals back in action tomorrow at Busch Stadium against those Boston Red Sox. This SportsCenter update has been brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN. What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Here's what's trending.
Motoring along in the 3 o'clock hour of the Fast Lane, Bradford Bruns, Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis with you on 101 ESPN. Gentlemen.
We get words. We get new words.
Just a few, right?
We get
Just a
Bradford
few.
back.
Motoring or muttering?
Motoring.
Motorboating?
Hopefully we're motoring and not
Motoring.
muttering. That would be bad.
Muttering
for the
would be
radio
bad,
guys.
yeah.
That would be bad.
I didn't.
Sorry, the song.
Is
That's what
it
the
the
song is.
verb to mutter?
Motoring.
It
Bless you.
can be.
Okay.
Yes, it can be. Yes.
Thank you.
We have
I'm just
action,
asking.
active verbs here in
Yeah.
the Fast Lane. No
Right.
doubt about it.
I would just like to use it in the future. And I want to make sure I use it properly, Bradford.
Fair enough. And to that end, guys, we're going to motor to Augusta National, where we have, yes, the 90th edition of the Masters. You okay there, buddy?
Carey's struggling today. Just overall.
Are real.
They are. They are indeed. What's real at the moment for the 90th edition of the Masters, though, you have Sam Burns as well as Rory McIlroy currently tied atop the leaderboard at 5 under apiece. But, guys, I'm not sure how many people actually care about that leaderboard in the early going, especially when there's the absence of Tiger Woods over which to obsess earlier this morning. Gary Player, yes, the 90-year-old Gary Player, the legend, it was his chance to weigh in.
Do I blame him for taking medicine? Hell no. He has sleep deprivation. Do I blame him for taking something to help him sleep? No. But I don't think he should drive a car.
That audio courtesy of Golf Week, of course, on the heels of the
It's
incident.
quite the revelation.
Indeed. About 2 weeks ago, Tiger currently seeking treatment for issues that are beyond the game of golf. But what does it say, guys? I'm curious about the state of the sport. When your signature event is underway, stay number 1 there in Augusta, and there is much more fanfare surrounding the 5-time champion who is not present as opposed to the game itself.
Yeah, that's natural. It really is. I mean, take any sport you want, throw a controversy with the greatest in that sport, throw it around Michael Jordan, throw a controversy around Wayne Gretzky. If Wayne Gretzky's in the Stanley Cup final, Game 7, and there's something like this happened, they're talking about this. The game is great. That's awesome. But they're going to be talking about the greatest player or one of the greatest players of that sport's history.
And I understand that.
It just...
But for how long? How long are we going to do this? He's 50.
We're going to talk about it until the day there's no more to talk about.
Yeah, I agree with Jamie. I think the fact that it just happened, right? That's what was last week. It just happened. It just took place. The incident did, and I think everyone is still waiting on Tiger to make that return and do what Tiger does. Will it ever happen? I don't know. But the anticipation of it is like they're all waiting. And I don't know if the professional golfers care, but the rest of the world is tuned in to Tiger Woods. And if he's not playing or if he is playing, he's the most talked about golfer of my lifetime. Like, and that is, I think it's going to be that way until he says, you know what, I'm done playing golf. If he comes out and says...
And then every time he makes an appearance, they're going to talk about him.
But if he says, I'm never going to play golf again, then we probably don't talk about him. But until he says that, there's always that. It's kind of like when Michael Jordan retired. Like, is he coming back?
Which time?
Hey, anytime.
Exactly.
Still people saying it now. Is he coming back? Maybe not now, but definitely in the 90s. You know what I mean?
What is it about Tiger Woods that we find so compelling? Like, honest question on that.
Because he's been one of the most dominant people in that sport.
Scotty Scheffler's been outstanding, and we're not compelled.
Thank you.
But his brand is nowhere near what Tiger Woods is. So Tiger
again,
Woods,
I'm asking you.
Yeah, but let's start with he's a kid, right? What was he on the Johnny Carson show as like a small child swinging a golf club?
He was 2.
Yeah,
2 years old.
He was a phenom. And then keep going, and through college, he was a phenom. Then he signs a huge deal. He brought so much attention to the sport of golf that it's almost like he wasn't just a golfer. He's also a rock star / actor. Like the biggest industries you can find for stars, that's what Tiger Woods was. And not just because of golf. Nike created an entire brand for him.
Yeah.
Like, he changed so many things. He changed a lot of things for sports. He changed a lot of things for endorsements for athletes like Michael Jordan did in basketball. So this is why we talk about him. This is why it's not just that he got a hole-in-one on hole 17. It's not just that. It's everything that comes with Tiger Woods.
But it's interesting. I mean, Jamie, I don't disagree with you. The brand, how everything created. I'm fascinated by
and I'm
how
not
much.
really a Tiger Woods fan, to be honest.
Well, I'm fascinated how much we're fascinated by him, because if you think about it, it's not like the guy's got a personality that's magnetic.
No,
I mean at all. So what?
I don't think you have to when you are the best player. Some would say to ever do it. I think if
Scotty Scheffler is dominating.
Yeah, but he's still as much as he's dominating right now. He's still quite a ways away from being Tiger Woods.
But we were so it's not like when Tiger Woods. We waited until he dominated a certain portion of time. We were fascinated with him almost immediately. Is that just the prodigy angle then?
For sure.
It started there.
In my opinion, it's definitely that.
Yeah.
When he turned pro, it was one of the biggest days for golf ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right there, he hadn't even swung a club yet as far as the actual being on the tour, and he was already one of, if not the most popular golfer.
And with all due respect to Jack Nicklaus, to Arnold Palmer, to all of the guys who came before Tiger Woods,
player.
they had never been able to, for a confluence of reasons, to make the game cool, to brand it for the masses in the way that Tiger Woods did.
Yeah.
He completely changed the sport. He completely changed sports, period. But here's what I fear as more of admittedly a golf guy. You do have so many elite players at this point in time. Now, Scotty Scheffler, the dominance on the course notwithstanding, a lot of people would say, okay, this guy is pretty milquetoast as far as the personality goes. You've got Rory McIlroy trying to go for 2 in a row here at Augusta, but by the same token, they're not captivating people. They're not captivating fans in the same way. But if we really want to go back to it, guys, 2019, that was the story, basically the last peak we saw on the course from Tiger Woods. He somehow was able to go back up the mountain, and he captured another one, the 5th at Augusta. And since then, literally, it's all been downhill from there. He made the run here in St. Louis at the Players' Championship, but since then, we've still been chasing that story. And I guess we're just doomed to do it forevermore.
Well, now we're chasing the comeback. Right?
Yeah. But he had the comeback.
But no, this is the
latest comeback.
Like, he's had a few things happen since 2019.
In his 40s when it was realistic. Now it's not realistic.
But we're still waiting for the comeback.
Okay.
It's just like people still talking about Tom Brady coming back to play quarterback. That ain't happening.
Flag football's the start.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we saw how good that worked for the NFL. What? Sean Payton said it. I can say it. But with the greatest players, you're always hoping there's more to the story, and you're clinging to it. And here's the thing that is a sad reality. There are 50% of the people that can't wait to see the comeback story, and there's 50% that can't wait to see the burning or the building burn to the ground.
The fall.
The fall. That's what it is. So that's what's compelling. Is for the people that are in Tiger's corner, it's compelling to, what is the bounce back? What does it look like 3 years? Who cares about the golf course? What does it look like for him? Is he got that? But and the other half is like, let's see how low he can go. And it's sad, and it's kind of sick and twisted, but that's exactly what it is. And that's why he's still gets all this attention. That's why he's still the topic of conversation, because he's polarizing. I think that'd be the word.
Yep.
That's a very good word.
Yep.
It's a good point.
You can use that one, Bradford.
I will file that away accordingly. Let's talk for just a second, guys, about a conference, to be precise, making major waves in the here and now.
Finally.
We know, of course,
Mac.
that, yes, maybe next week, Anthony. Maybe next week. Yeah. NCAA tournament. Both the men's and the women's sides obviously concluded a few days ago. And Carey, my goodness gracious, the numbers are in. And I'm not just talking about the fact that Michigan and UConn was the most widely viewed championship game in X number of years. No, instead, how about some revenue from the men and women generated by the Big Ten alone? Almost $70 million made from the NCAA tournament by the Big Ten Conference alone. Carey, SEC coming in at about 56 or so. Astronomical numbers. It's going to be distributed, the funds, I should say, here by the NCAA in a matter of weeks. But we really shouldn't be surprised. My question for you is, buddy, as far as the preeminent college basketball powerhouse going into next season.
And football.
Okay, well, maybe we can agree to disagree on that.
And football.
Is the Big Ten here to stay on the hardwood alone as the number one?
I think the Big Ten. I like what the SEC has done over the last few years. They obviously were the football conference, but they've done a really good job in basketball the last couple of years. But I think Big Ten has always kind of had that reign in terms of those two conferences. ACC is also another one, but the Big Ten has done a fantastic job. They had some really good basketball teams, some really good basketball that is played in that conference. I don't know how many teams we had in the tournament this year. I forgot how many it was, but it was a fair amount of teams, and you had two teams in the Final Four in Illinois and Michigan. And so, yeah, I think the Big Ten has done a great job, with all of the funds that they've earned and made over the past few years, and how the developments have taken place, and how, in my opinion, the landscape of sports has shifted from SEC heavy to Big Ten heavy, and that's my opinion. But I think it's shown that the last 3 national championships have been Big Ten championships: Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana this year. You got 2 Big Ten champions in basketball from the women's and the men's side. Like, I think you're seeing a shift in the landscape of sports, and it's shifting heavily towards the Big Ten. And Bradford, I often say you can't spell second without SEC.
Oh. I was just going to give you some dap on 4 Elite 8 teams.
He's right.
On your own.
You can't spell second without SEC.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
2ND, second.
You can't spell 10 without Big Ten. Or you can't spell Big Ten without 10.
You can? Or can't?
Can't spell 10 without Big Ten.
Oh.
Or 10.
Well, we got 18 teams, Anthony. Don't worry about the Big Ten. The second
In
conference.
order to spell 10, it's going to be your bowl.
Yeah.
Who, what?
It's going to be your bowl.
It's your bowl, not ours.
That's almost as confusing as saying, yes, indeed, UCLA confirmed as part of the Big Ten forevermore going forward. That's
beautiful.
Solid Midwest program, those Bruins.
MAC is the MAC conference. Well, no, you got Sacramento State now, so you're not even.
It's true.
You're not even the Mid-American anymore. You're the. I don't even know what
We're
you are.
the Mid-American plus.
Yeah, plus. You know what I mean?
Well, UMass too.
There you go.
Once those jokers came in,
you were gonna call them something else.
A little bit.
I saw it.
You saw my face, and I pivoted. Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We might not be discussing the true linchpin when it comes to the Blues top line scoring. We'll explain next on 101 ESPN.
St. Louis Blues hockey can be heard exclusively on 101 ESPN. Get the info you need before and after every Blues game with a First Community pre- and post-game show. First Community Credit Union.
Take your best shot with First Community, and presented by Scott Lee Heating Company and Urban Chestnut Brewing Company.
former pros and one average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Tonight, we've got Blues and Jets pregame at 6 o'clock. Puck will drop around 7 o'clock. You can listen to all the coverage on your home for the Blues, 101 ESPN. Jamie?
Yeah.
You threw out a pretty interesting comment in the office earlier talking about maybe we're not discussing the true catalyst for the top line scoring. We've talked a lot about the top line scoring. We've talked a lot about a certain player, but maybe we're kind of missing the big picture point about why the top line for the Blues is scoring so much.
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
Would you like to play a game? Who's the first player you think of when you think of the Blues first line?
Robert Thomas.
Good job. Carey?
Yeah.
No.
No. Based upon all the discussions we've had and other shows that are talking, who would be the second player you think of when you think of the Blues top line?
Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yes. I didn't hear Dylan Holloway, guys. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Here's why it's crazy. Dylan Holloway, since the Olympic break. Now, there is a caveat here. Him and Jimmy Snuggerud have both played 20 games, while Robert Thomas has only played 17. But here's how it lines up. Robert Thomas, 17 games played, 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points on a heater. Jimmy Snuggerud, 20 games played, 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points. Almost a point a game. Dylan Holloway, 20 games played, 11 goals, 15 points, 15 assists, 26 points. The most points of all three. Again, the caveat, Thomas has played a couple less games, but nonetheless, we keep forgetting about Dylan Holloway here. And so before we dive into it even more, we had Monty on yesterday, Coach Montgomery yesterday, and I asked him about Dylan Holloway and his role in the first line and what he sees. And here's what the coach said about Dylan Holloway.
He's really important because he brings that element of physicality, speed, and relentless pursuit of pucks. He creates turnovers. He has the ability to make plays, finish plays, but it's that dogged determination, relentless attitude he has on pucks that, complements those two really well.
What's funny, that's great comments by the coach, but what's funny about those comments is if you listen without knowing the numbers, you'd think, oh, yeah, that guy's a grinder. Gets in on the forecheck, finishes his hits, gets to the front of the net. He's way more than that. He does all those things, but he's also leading the trio in scoring since the Olympic break. You watch some of the plays he makes, it's very high-end skill. Not to mention that he's fast, he can be physical, he can do all those things. So we've got a power forward, essentially, in Dylan Holloway. And doing the games last little while with Bernie, and Bernie and I would sit there and watch, and we both agreed, he's the guy that's driving the line. Like his pace of play, the way he gets out, the motor that he has is what's driving that line from a pace of play. The other two guys are very dynamic. Certainly. They're fantastic hockey players. But without Dylan Holloway, I don't know if they're having the same success. And then one further. Dylan Holloway last year, post Four Nations, his line with Shen and Carey was the most dominant offensive line. So 2 years in a row, he's been a part of a line that post-Olympic, post-Four Nations has been the best line offensively. And he's the common denominator. So I don't think we can look past Dylan Holloway and how important he has been during this stretch for the Blues. I mean, you guys watched the games too. What do you think?
Well, I think you bring up tremendous points. I think the line works. Here's what I think of instantly when you break it down like that. I think about a free agent that gets a massive contract, and then his next spot, he's not as effective. He's not putting up the same point production that he was in his previous spot. And we think like, well, geez, we got, this guy doesn't care anymore. No, he's not on the same line anymore. And we can't overlook that, right? The production of Robert Thomas has been nothing short of impressive. Same thing with Snuggerud. But it's a line that is complete, and it's all working in sync. It's not unlike a hockey team that has all three phases of the game also coming together. It's like just a shortened version. So I think what you're talking about makes a lot of sense. I also think that Dylan Holloway is healthy, and this is what things could look like when he's fully healthy, because he's been in and out of the lineup. Perhaps Monty hasn't had the opportunity to find out what works for not only Holloway but his line mates. And following the trades and given the health and return of Holloway, all of it's coming together now. This is an impressive top line.
Jeremy, what does this offseason look like for Dylan Holloway? Because he is a restricted free agent, correct? You don't want to have, how you got him, you don't want to lose him.
Yeah, technically the Blues have to offer him a qualifying offer, which is, I believe it's like a 10% raise to retain his rights. Now, the player's going to say, no, I'm not signing that. So then the player now can go. I don't know if he's got arbitration rights or not. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I don't think we're getting there.
Is he going to get a long-term deal?
I think he has to. I know there are some question marks and concerns, and justifiably so, about his ability to stay healthy. But, man, when you see what he's been able to do, again, when healthy, it's pretty hard to not sit there and go, okay, we're going to be a team that competes for Stanley Cup we're hoping to be in 3 years. Can you imagine Holloway, Thomas, and Snuggerud 3 years from now? Imagine if that's your second line. I'm just saying, can you, because a lot of things change quickly over from season to season, but you can't let this guy, and I wouldn't, for me, it wouldn't be a short deal. It wouldn't be a prove-it deal we're going to bridge you. No. I mean, I'm going 6 to 7 years. 6, 7. Can't help myself. That's what I'm looking at for Dylan Holloway, and it's going to have to be around the $7 or $8 million a year. You can't tell me he's not worth it.
Yeah.
When you've got players on your roster that are currently making $8 million that can't carry his lunch for him, how can you not give him $8 million?
Sure. Yeah.
And then, then you've got the ability, not saying that you will, but you have the ability to keep that line intact long term now.
Yeah.
It's just the question of durability, right? I think that's the problem for so many people. But if you're talking about sheer ability, if you're talking about being responsible on both ends of the ice, if you're throwing that figure out there, provided the health is there, that's a bargain, frankly. Bargain.
I agree. I totally agree. And, for me, it's a formality at this point. Alex Steen's going to have a lot of things to do in the offseason. Going to be a lot of work, a lot of head scratching, a lot of all this. This is an easy one. Call the agent, ask him, kind of what you're looking for, find a middle ground and make it happen. I don't see a world where in 2 or 3 years when the Blues are wanting to be competitive that you don't have Dylan Holloway on your roster.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, we're looking for some mic drops today, so if you want to use the 101 ESPN mobile app powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, bring up the app, use the mic drop feature at the bottom of the app. What do you think thus far on the Cards' performance through 12 games? A lot better than you expected? Have you been pleasantly surprised? Or this is kind of what you expected because the Cardinals cleared out a lot of the, brush, and now the young players are starting to bloom. Also, if you want to leave some mic drop, going a different route here, what do you think about Jordan Walker's start? We had the conversation yesterday about, are we believing in this version of Jordan Walker? Are you there yet? Leave us a mic drop on either of those subjects, and we'll play those throughout the course of the show. Speaking of the Cardinals, one of the highs from the weekend series that we did not get to was the performance of Michael McGreevy. Is he undervalued at this point? We'll get into him next on 101 ESPN.
Missed the Blues game? Want to hear the highlights? Need player reaction? Want more analysis and opinion? It's all here on Curbside, your next day post-game podcast with the voice of the St. Louis Blues, Chris Kerber. Catch new episodes of Curbside every morning after every Blues game at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. Curbside is presented by Bellman Automotive. For the best price on a new Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, or a used vehicle, shop Bellman in Troy. Online at Bellman.com. You can't do better than Bellman. WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Buckle up. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
That team is, I feel like, in a very similar spot as us. There's a lot of young talent on that team that is very real. James Wood might have the most effortless power I've ever seen in my life. And I played with Jordan Walker in 2022 when he was the number one prospect in baseball. And I mean, hey, I play with Jordan Walker now. Jordan's swinging the bat like nobody else as well. But a lot of young talent that I think is going to come alive in the next couple of years, just like us. And it was a very good team, and I'm glad the defense really helped me out.
That was Michael McGreevy earlier today on TMA. You can listen to TMA every morning here on 101 ESPN. Michael McGreevy earned his first win of the season on Wednesday. He only yielded a run on 4 hits in 6 innings. He lowered his ERA to 2.16, retired the last 11 batters he faced, including 7 straight groundouts to end his outing. Michael McGreevy is interesting. I don't think that there's a lot of, when I'm talking about like the fans and the media, there's not a lot of like groaning with Michael McGreevy, despite the fact that, and I'll just speak for myself, I grew very tired of the pitch to contact approach that the Cardinals were employing. I don't think that I'm a big fan of baseball, and I'm a big fan of pitching. I don't think you need to throw greased BBs from pitch 1 through pitch 90 and only make it five innings. That's not my type of baseball, right? But the Cardinals under Mo was like, we'll pivot. We'll go with guys that we think are innings eaters, and they're not really innings eaters because the ball's constantly in play, and then you're getting hit hard,
5 innings.
and they're only going 5 innings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it blew up. But Michael McGreevy's not the typical pure velocity, swing and miss, get a bunch of Ks guys. Yet he's been very effective, and he has been undervalued to this point, I think, because of his profile. He doesn't profile like we think Liam Doyle will eventually profile. Pure ace, top of the rotation dude. But McGreevy being in your rotation, somebody that is an effective pitcher that actually eats innings, I could see him being a number 2 guy for a very long time.
Yeah, why not? Right now, and he's still young, he locates his pitches very well.
His command is outstanding.
Which is why he's able to
control.
Which is why he's able to be that quote unquote pitch to contact. But he's not really. He doesn't have the gas that some of the other guys have, or some of the crazy stuff. But the way he places his pitches, that's not really pitching to contact. I guess he is, but like weak contact. Mm-hmm. And so, he's very consistent. I like him a lot in the rotation. Is he a 2? I think he's more of a 3 or a 4 on a championship type team. Now, are we splitting hairs? Yeah. Why? Because I can. Why not?
Because I'm Jamie Rivers, damn it.
No, but like if you put him on the Dodgers, or you put him on, he's not a number 2. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's further down in there. And I'm not comparing the Cardinals to the Dodgers. I'm just saying we always do it with the Blues. On a championship team or on a competitive team, there's so-and-so in the lineup. Well, right. McGreevy for me is probably a 3 on a team that is a division contender and a World Series hopeful team.
Yeah, I think he's done a fantastic job. In 3 starts, he pitched well in his first start and this last start. Got roughed up a little bit against the Detroit Tigers. But all in all, if this is what you're going to get every 5th day, where you can have someone go out there and give you at least 6 innings, 90-plus pitches, I'm all for it. I don't know, like you said, I don't know that he's a 1 or a 2. I think you still – I think of those aces, those 1s and 2s. 2s, in my opinion, are guys that on a different team would be an ace. Sonny Gray is probably a perfect example. He was our ace, but in other places he's probably not. So for me, McGreevy is probably a 3, but if I can count on him every fifth day like we have been thus far, I'm okay with that. I think he's going to be a really good pitcher, and he's one of the surprises for me because I think, the way that this rotation has gone, I expected Dustin May to be your guy. I expected Matthew Liberatore to be, 2, solid, really good. I didn't know what to expect from Andre Pallante. I had no no expectation. I didn't know what to expect. Michael McGreevy was also a little bit ahead, in my opinion, of Andre Pallante, but I want to see it, but I have seen it, and I like what he's done thus far.
And, Anthony, in this market, I think we've been conditioned, essentially, to take that term, innings eater, and just run with it, right? What does that mean? And a couple of years ago, when you had the likes of Kyle Gibson and you had Lance Lynn, I would venture to say in 2026, given the constitution of this starting 5 right now, as we're not even into May, the fact that you have Matthew Liberatore, second full season as a starter. Dustin May, he's never been an innings guy, let alone right now. Just discard the fact that he isn't pitching particularly well. Kyle Leahy, you're number 1 in the rotation. Andre Pallante, whether you fit a Dobbins or a Fitz in there at some point, what is the common denominator here? Or what is the takeaway theme? My argument is that the innings are looming even larger for this team at this particular season, and Michael McGreevy is Exhibit A of what somebody can be as far as giving you quality innings. In today's game, guys, how many times do you actually see a pitcher, unless he is an undisputed ace, unless we're talking about Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal territory, who's consistently going deeper than, I'll say it, 6-7 innings? Michael McGreevy last season, for a 78-win team, mind you, he went 8-4, and once he actually was able to find a home here, once he was able to stick in August, all he did over the course of 11 starts, he went out and he threw at least 6 innings in 8 of those turns. That means something. Now, it's not always it's rarely, frankly, going to look pretty. Case in point, his season debut against Tampa Bay. But if the control, the precision is that immaculate, I think maybe he can be that guy to buck this trend of, all right, if you are that in command of your stuff, even if you're barely touching the low 90s, you can still have sustained success in this game because you're using your intelligence, you're using your acumen, and you're able to spread it around and basically fill up that strike zone accordingly. There's a reason why. Back in 2021, this guy is a former first-round pick. Is he a flamethrower like Liam Doyle? No. But he was the 18th overall selection for a reason. He was able to bide his time, and now you're really seeing the dividends. That's exactly why in that category, I said before the season started, he is the runaway leader for this team in innings pitched, which is significant. And to me, it's not even particularly close.
I was going to say, I don't think we consider guys like Greg Maddux was one of my favorite pitchers. He wasn't touching 98. He's 93, 94, and location right. On a good day. Right, 92. But location is you're gonna spot your pitches and you're gonna hit your spots and be fantastic with it. I think that, and I'm nowhere near. Don't do that. I would never compare Michael McGreevy to a Greg Maddux. But I said never.
I didn't say
look at me like that. But I do feel like that type of player still has a role. Hit 101 and throw gas past you because those pitches are a little bit harder to hit. But if you're locating your pitches and you're not getting hard contact and people are not hitting the ball hard or hitting it into gaps, I think there's still a role for you. I just think it is a 3 or a 4 in a rotation because you do need, in my opinion, in today's baseball, you do need those guys that can touch 98, 99 to 100.
That's Kerry Davis. That's Jamie Rivers. Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. It'll be early versus May tomorrow in Game 1 between the Red Sox and Cardinals at Busch Stadium. On Saturday night, it'll be Ranger Suarez, who has not been good. He signed a big deal with Boston. He had a terrible spring. He's had a couple of rough starts. He'll oppose Kyle Leahy. Again, that's the Saturday game. And then on Sunday, the series finale, 1:15. It'll be Bello versus Andre Palante, who has been very good as the Cardinals' fifth starter this year. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. NFL 4 downs. We're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft at the end of the month. Got a couple of draft questions that Bradford's going to throw at us next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for another moment in Blues history.
On this day back in 2010 on home ice, the Blues would put 6 up on the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks would score first. Lars Eller would tie the game in the first. Then Eric Brewer would give the Blues the lead in the early part of the second period. Anaheim would score the next 2 to take the 1-goal lead, but then Koliakovo on the power play, Jay McClellan, Andy McDonald, and David Backes on the power play would score 4 goals in the third period.
This date in Blues history is powered by Classic Air Care.
Make your life more comfortable for all your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. ClassicAirCare.com.
Well, if you're looking to accessorize your vehicle, please go see my friends over at Pure Performance. They do an incredible job with any vehicle that you have. No matter what you're driving right now on the road, they have something for you. And last month, they had a great deal going on with wheels and tires. This month, anybody who receives or purchases a new bed cover, so those tonneau covers, whether it's the hard shell or the soft one that goes on the back of your pickup truck, you will receive a free cargo retriever. Why is that important? Because I have a hard cover tonneau cover and I have to use a hockey stick to find things in the back of my pickup truck. No, you don't need to do that. You get the free cargo retriever when you buy a new bed cover over at Pure Performance. They've got an amazing showroom, 25,000 square feet, right there in St. Peter's off of Cave Springs Boulevard. Walk in. Please ask for Shelby. Please tell Shelby that Jamie Rivers sent you in, and then let her know what you're looking to do while you're there. As far as accessories, again, they have everything that you want. Tires and wheels for any vehicle. Your vehicle is right there in-house at Pure Performance. So please stop by or visit them online at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
time for NFL 4 Downs in the Fastline on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. NFL Draft is coming up at the end of the month, and I think our guy Bradford Bruns has 4 Downs edition, NFL Draft edition for us right now.
First down.
Indeed, guys, mostly draft-related conversation here. Let's start at the top where Fernando Mendoza is expected to go as the number 1 overall selection to those Raiders. He's not planning, by all accounts, to attend that draft in Pittsburgh. But my question for you guys is, do you envision any other quarterback actually going in round 1? Right now seems to be a down year in the grand scheme of things. 2 weeks out, who is your second best signal caller?
They've said, and I say they have said, that it's Ty Simpson. They have said it for a while now. He may find a way to sneak into the first round, or he might be, beginning of the second round. Who knows? I don't know that there are any other quarterbacks right now that really fit the mold or the build of a day one starter in the NFL other than Fernando Mendoza. We've talked about this, man. There were so many quarterbacks that were jumping off the page in the offseason that people were so excited to talk about. Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik. You had the kid at Penn State. I can't even remember his dang on name.
Drew Aller. You had
Carson Beck. You had so many different quarterbacks that they were referring to as guys that were potential day one draft picks. And Fernando Mendoza came out of nowhere and kind of took that throne and has run away with it. So I don't know where, if any other quarterback goes in the first round. And I do feel like if you're going after a Ty Simpson, that's probably a reach. Now, he didn't have he had no running game. So that eliminates some of the success you can have as a quarterback if you are one-dimensional, which Alabama, I've never seen an Alabama team not be able to run the football,
right.
And they could not run the football at all. So maybe if you're looking at it and say, hey, if we give him a solid defense, a solid run game, maybe he'll be able to have more success here. But that's also projecting, and you don't know that for sure. So we'll see. I think Fernando Mendoza is the one, and Ty Simpson probably falls in the second round somewhere.
Yeah, I don't like any of the QBs. Except for Mendoza. And I think Mendoza is a very specific fit, and I think he's just going to be fine. But Ty Simpson, if you're the Cardinals, you're sitting there with a depth chart of Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew.
Go get him.
I could see them trading back into the first round to answer your question, Bradford, and then Ty Simpson is the only other quarterback that's taken. But, good luck. He's 6. They say he's 6'2". He don't look 6'2". I'm sure they're up in the inches on him when it comes to Drew Aller's footwork is terrible. I'm not enamored with any of these other. Carson Beck is fine, but he's probably a backup. That's his ceiling.
Yeah.
What do you think of your guy?
Luke Altmaier?
Yeah.
I think Luke is I honestly think Luke is probably, I think he worked his way into probably 5th or 6th round guy. I love Luke. I think Luke is tenacious. He's tough. Is he a day one starter in the NFL? Probably not. But I think in the right situation, if there's an injury, he could come in and get some playing time and show some people that he's capable of playing at that level. He does. He makes really good throws. He's a very, very good decision maker with the football. Doesn't turn it over. Doesn't force things. Utilizes his legs really well. He's not the biggest guy either. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think he measured out about 6'1", maybe 6'2". But he's a quarterback that I think you could trust and would be a good backup to start his career off. And if he finds the right opportunity, get a chance to play and have some success.
Slightly better draft odds than what Mizzou's Brady Cook had last season. Comparable, I would say, though. Quickly for you guys, if Trinidad Chambliss had decided to leave Ole Miss, where would he be going at what stage?
He's so intriguing to me. He does not have the size, but he is so intriguing. I would if he left Ole Miss, I could see him being a 2nd or 3rd round guy in the same vein as like Malik Willis when Malik Willis came out of Liberty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Willis was intriguing, and we were like,
Willis was almost, and some people thought he was going to be a 1st round pick.
And I think if Chambliss came out, I wonder if there'd be more chatter.
Is better than Malik Willis. I think he had more big play making ability right now than what Malik Willis had coming out of college. Going into his rookie year.
But Willis just got paid.
He just got paid as a starter in Miami.
Right. I'd be intrigued with Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah, Arizona, you go right back to a smaller quarterback. Obviously not small as Kyler Murray.
You can't make decisions like that, so yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Browns. Like you got to keep
drafting quarterbacks
you gotta
until
keep
you
firing,
find
man.
one.
Yeah. Just my thought.
Or spend millions of dollars on one.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Second down.
Whoops.
For weeks, guys, it had been assumed that Aaron Glenn's Jets were leaning toward Arvell Reese at number 2 overall, but that rumor mill, it is absolutely going on fire right now. Texas Tech, David Bailey. Could he actually wind up being the pick? Momentum is building, and would you like that selection from the Red Raiders? Tell us how you really feel.
I think the question with Arvell Reese is he a true edge rusher or an outside linebacker? That's kind of, you don't want to change someone's position at that level. If he's an outside linebacker, then you let him be an outside linebacker. But if he can rush the quarterback, those guys are really good playmakers and get paid a lot of money in the NFL. So, it's kind of it just depends on what the Jets feel, but it's the Jets, and we're probably talking about a team that's going to ruin it or mess it up some kind of way. Maybe you do go with David Bailey. Maybe you feel like he is the edge rusher that you need. It just whichever one you feel has the more upside, that's the one you go after. But I think the Jets will find a way, some way, to mess it up.
Honest question: why aren't more teams thinking about a Caleb Downs in the top 3 territory? Why not? Is it a ceiling issue? Is it a floor? What?
I think maybe I would assume that Caleb Downs is probably, they think that he's maximized the talent that he has. Like he's probably at his ceiling. I don't know how much better. And Caleb Downs is an outstanding safety. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country. I thought that Ohio State had the best offensive player and the best defensive player in Caleb Downs last year. But maybe he's a player that you feel like has reached his ceiling in terms of the success that he's going to have at the next level. I think he's a very intelligent player, but it would also depend on what you need. I think the best player in the draft, in my opinion, is Jeremiah Love. And I'm excited to see that, he's projected to go in the top 5, probably to Tennessee.
Yep.
So, I think it just depends on how high of a ceiling you think a player has. And if you're the Jets, if you think David Bailey has a higher ceiling than Arvell Reese, then you go that route. But if you think Reese is better, you go that route.
Third down.
Somebody else who presumably still has a lot of room to grow from last season, Eli Stowers with Vanderbilt. Generally recognized, guys, as the premier tight end in this class. But can you envision a world in which Stowers actually capable of going out wide, capable of being deployed in the slot as well, could maybe even segue into more of a wide receiver role at the next level?
That's Anthony's area of expertise.
To me,
Kyle Pitts knows about it.
Kyle Pitts, and in fairness to Kyle Pitts, he's gotten a lot tougher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been a better blocker. Otherwise, he's a receiver. It's not unlike Travis Kelce has been throughout his career. He's a receiver. George Kittle's a tight end. So I think when it comes to Eli Stowers, it's perfect for him to come out in today's day and age where you can move around, whether you're going to be in line or somebody that lines up out wide. It depends on the system. I think Stowers outstanding. This tight end class, I think, is going to be excellent.
You like Sadiq more.
I realized at Oregon. Yeah. But they also had a lot of weapons. There's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Kenyon Sadiq's going to surprise a lot of people.
This year's top tandem, okay, guys you just referenced, more or less upside than last year's top duo, which was insane, too, when you're talking about Warren and obviously Colston.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, boy, you forget that. And then Harold Fannin, where did he go?
Oh, my gosh.
Was he a second-round pick, third-round pick for the Browns?
Second round, I think.
Second round, and he wound up putting great production up for the Browns last year.
The Browns did a good job of drafting.
They did a great draft.
If you're going to be honest, they did a really good job.
That's how Andrew Berry saved his job, and Stefanski got to step in.
They drafted really well. All of the guys that they drafted, for the most part, last year were impact players on their team. So I thought they did a really good job.
All right, we got a punt. We got Chris Kerber up. So Chris Kerber will join us next. Talk a little Blues hockey with him on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. Every month during the season, you can score a pair of tickets to a Blues game at Enterprise Center. A new winner is picked every month throughout the season. Enter to win now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app presented by Ted Drew's Frozen Custard.
All right, it's that time of the year. You can feel the weather starting to turn. You can feel the heat coming in. I mean, pretty nice to be driving down to a hockey rink, and it's 84 degrees, at least according to the temperature in the car. But that's not what you want your house. You want your house. If you're like me, you want it right at 70, 71, one of those two. And if it's too much more than that, too much. If it's a couple degrees below that, well, that's too cold too. So I like it set there. Look, get Classic Air Care out to the house and have them do a maintenance check on your unit. Make sure that you're doing everything you can to avoid any kind of big-time repairs or issues when the heat really starts to turn. It's only $79. It's less than $100 to have somebody come out and give you the peace of mind to know that your machine is up, running, working perfectly, and ready to be overworked during the St. Louis summer heat. It's just that simple. They come out, they check my house once in the spring. They do it again right before the winter. They make sure that it's ready to go for the 2 big seasons that tax that HVAC unit as much as possible. And I've got one of those humidifiers, too, which makes that house so comfortable. You want to make sure they check that out as well. Look, it's Classic Air Care. They have amazing customer service. It is their number one priority. They make sure that they come in, they get it done right. They check everything that you need to know. They're going to educate you on what you need to know as well and make sure that you are doing everything that you can to keep that unit running in your house. It's the most important thing you've got in your house to make sure that you're comfortable. It's your air conditioning unit. Have them come out and check it out. Classic Air Care. You can book an appointment online at classicaircare.com. You can give them a call, and they'll get out to you right away. It's Classic Air Care. They've been making people comfortable since 1926.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues and Jets to give it one more go. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Tonight at 7 o'clock downtown, St. Louis will host Winnipeg for the final time in 2025-26. The Blues are at present a matter of 6 points out of that final Western Conference wildcard spot with 5 games remaining. Pre-game with Alex Ferrario beginning at 6 o'clock after the Fast Lane right here on 101 ESPN. Baseball, Cardinals idle today after capturing 2 of 3 from Washington in the nation's capital. Tomorrow, Boston will come to town. Dustin May will net that start. This SportsCenter update has been brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Don't slow down. You're in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're talking everything St. Louis Blues as we head into the Blues booth on 101 ESPN. Presented by Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. Find your perfect new floor at boardwalkhardwood.com.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, who you'll hear tonight as the Blues host the Winnipeg Jets. Kerbs, how are you?
Anthony, I'm good. How are you guys today?
Beautiful day out. Loving life right now. The rain that I thought was going to hit, staying away. So it's good right now. What has been which young player has impressed you the most thus far for the Blues, and why?
Well, I'll go. I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to split them up. Obviously, Broberg on the defensive side, what he's done this year has emerged into that top role for the St. Louis Blues. I'm excited to see what might happen next year when he actually starts to see regular power play time, and if the Blues can get any kind of semblance of a power play going, what his point totals look like. But you know, he should hit a career high in points. He's at 31 right now and breaks that if he gets his next point. So I'm excited for that development. And then honestly, for me, it's still Jimmy Snuggerud. I just 17 goals this season, 43 points, most points for a Blues rookie since Patrick Berglund. And I thought he and Robert Thomas showed some chemistry in that playoff series last year against Winnipeg. It's great to see both them healthy and on the same line in what they're doing. But, I really got to think that as he continues to find his time and space, that you're looking at a 30-goal scorer in Jimmy Snuggerud. And a guy who, by the way, and I've been saying it all year, his passing seems to be every bit as good as his shooting. His awareness out there is great. So that's pretty exciting to watch Jimmy Snuggerud kind of emerge as your top-line right winger.
Kerb's 5 games left in the season. Playoff chances are extremely slim. How would you describe this season for the fans? What would you describe it as?
Well, I think if you're honest, you're going to say it's a disappointing regular season. From an expectation standpoint of what the team did, they were unable to carry that momentum or any, kind of semblance of that team game and team identity from last season into this season. The start to October was one of the weirdest ones I've seen in all my time, to be honest with you here, because, I've seen slow starts, but I've just never seen a start where the entire team, from the goaltenders all the way through your top forwards, couldn't find any kind of traction in the month of October. I do think if you look at things, the way they've trended defensively since November, the way the goaltending has been in the second half, I do think in that standpoint, there's a reason to continue if you go back to the fact that this team is only in what is year 3 of a rebuild, of a retool. I think had they had a better start, you're talking about a playoff team. I think the weak standings in the West show that definitely would have been possible. I think there's plenty of things to be excited about, whether it be Theo Lindstein, looking like an NHL player right from the start in his first 14 games. I just mentioned Snuggerud, looking at, a good solid year for Dvorsky, things like that. I think there's a lot of things to be positive about, but I think you've got to be honest and say from a results-oriented standpoint, you're disappointed with where you're at.
Kerbs, no secret. Look, you and I are both big Jake Neighbors fans. You talk about it a lot. We've talked about him as a young man. We love him as an individual and as a player. Just, he's going through a tough patch here right now as far as goal scoring is concerned. Do you think that maybe Jake has just put a little too much pressure on himself since the trade deadline to step up and fill the shoes of maybe someone like Braden Shen?
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. And, I haven't talked to Jake much about this, but I'm going to put myself back to when I was 23 years of age. And, to be honest with you, 23 years of age, I'm, wrapping up my senior year and there was a lot of upheaval. And when I look at the whole picture of Jake Neighbors, and you realize that at his young age, he's not just lost one, but he's lost, 2 friends of his over time, and one fairly recently, right, in Weisblatt. And then, I believe it was his grandfather, that passed too. Like there's just gone through a lot. And then the mentor that he had is very close to is Braden Shen. He gets traded out of here. And the one thing that you see, man, I didn't before that game on Easter Sunday. And the last question I asked him was about that ASL night coming up. I mean, in his answer, he answered it like he's a 37-year-old, 15-year vet in the league. And I just put all that together, and I think that it's been an amazing growth year for him. And Jamie, I'm going to go back to one other example. You go back to that December 31st game in Colorado. I went down to help out our digital team with post-game interviews and stuff. And at one point in time, the last guy sitting in a locker room still with his hockey pants on, just kind of staring into space in that locker was Jake Neighbors. I asked him about it the next day. He said, I just felt like that game could have been, we had a couple good games leading up. I felt that game was a real statement game, and I really didn't expect the start we had to that game and the way that thing went. And he was kind of taking it in. And kind of a long-winded way to say it, like, I just think that this guy has put a lot on his shoulders this year, but he seems to me to be one of those kind of individuals, Jamie, that puts himself in a place to put that on his shoulders, if that makes sense. and that's a positive. He finds his way into leadership kind of roles, and I think for somebody like Jake, Robert Thomas too. I think there's certain guys that are taking this season kind of personally right now, and he's one of them. And I think that's a lot to learn as you're going into the National Hockey League. And I got to tell you, I think he's going to come out of this thing just fine, and be exactly what this team needs him to be. And I don't know if I've been a little too scattered on that answer there, but I think, to me, it's just a little more detailed than production when it comes to Jake Neighbors.
Chris Kerber joins us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerb, so we talk about former Blue. What do you think's going on in the mind of Braden Shen, who's dealt to the Islanders, and then almost immediately Patrick Waugh, his head coach, is fired, and Braden Shen's still got a contract, so he's going to be there for the foreseeable future. What do you think's going on right now in the mind of the former Blues captain?
Well, okay, they're still in a playoff hunt, so I think he's pretty much just solely focused on that. And said that with as many coaching changes as he has seen lately, it's not an easy situation, but he also kind of knew this. Look, he knew it was the second time the Blues came to him for the trade request, and so he said, look, they clearly want me out, so we're gonna make this move. And he also knows that if things just don't work out right, he'll get moved again if he wants it. So I think it was a good thing for him to do, step in. And look, he's still in the thick of things and in the thick of a race, and he's got a coach that obviously knows how to win now. So we'll see how that plays out. But I cannot imagine that the last couple months on him have been an easy one as well, because that's a guy that I know wanted to be here.
Well said. All right. Curbs, we appreciate you. We know you're getting ready for tonight's game. Jets, Blues, we'll be listening to you on the first on the pregame at 6 o'clock, and then when the puck drops at 7.
All right, fellas, have an awesome rest of the week. We'll see you at the rink.
All right, sounds good. You too. Thank you. That's Chris Kerber here on 101 ESPN. Don't forget, we're asking for your mic drops, so Cardinal-related mic drops, your thoughts on the first 12 games for the Cardinals, your thoughts on Jordan Walker's start. Are you believing in this version of Walker? Are you still, based on what you saw the previous couple of years, you're still in wait-and-see mode when it comes to Walker? How long, too? Like, when does that flip for you if you're a Cardinals fan? So send us your mic drops. Those are available at the 101 ESPN mobile app. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Why don't we do Bet the Board next?
It's Sunday Night Baseball, Braves and Guardians. Pre-game at 5:30, first pitch at 6:20. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN.
The Johnny Londoff Chevrolet family has been providing the best automotive prices and award-winning service in St. Louis for close to 85 years. That's right, 85 years. You don't do that by accident. And you get to 85 years because at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, buying a car is more than just a price tag. From the moment you walk on to the showroom floor till you drive off the lot in your new or pre-owned vehicle, the Londoff team will treat you like family. I know this because I've been a customer for over 25 years of Londoff Chevrolet. My kids are customers of Londoff Chevrolet. My fiance drives a Londoff Chevrolet truck. There's a reason for that. Yes, great vehicles, well priced, but they do treat you exceptionally well. If there's a problem with your vehicle or if you have a question regarding your vehicle, they're right there to answer your calls or to get a technician to look at it immediately. And that's really well. Chevrolet, they've got 2 locations, the OG out in Florissant, Missouri, and the brand new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters. Both locations have great inventory, great pricing, and top-notch individuals. So please stop by. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. If not, you can always visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
101 ESPN has your shot to score a signed puck autographed by Blues forward Jordan Kyrou.
Kyrou is speed.
Enter to win now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 app, powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. No Marshy today. He's got the day off today and tomorrow, which means our guy Bradford Bruns is pinch hitting today. Bradford, do you have the latest standings?
I do, actually, guys. Fortunately, the math is pretty easy because we're still relatively early in April. But let me just say, Wednesday was a bang-up instance for all of you guys here in the studio. Yeah, nicely done. 3 for 3. So here we go. The standings from top to bottom. Jamie, you ran your number to 5 for April, sir, by virtue of Buffalo. Took care of business over those Rangers. 5-3 money line style. CD, you've got 4 now, trailing Jamie by just 1. Aaron Judge went over that 1.5 runs, hits, etc. for those Yankees. Marshy did not benefit from the Cincinnati Reds dropping that one to the Miami Marlins 7-4. So he remains at 2, which means Stoltz, you pull into a tie with him because those Tigers, go Tigers. Can we say, there you go, there you go. Went over 4.5 for runs yesterday. Lost 8-6 to Minnesota. No matter though, because you got that dub.
That was a sweat too, because the Tigers were down all game. Didn't score until late. Nonetheless, they don't ask how. They just ask how many, right, CD?
Indeed, man.
All right, so Jamie Rivers, board is yours.
Let's do that hockey tonight. Florida Panthers visiting the Ottawa Senators. Tkachuk versus Tkachuk in the nation's capital tonight. Give me the over in the first period. Minus 145.
I will take the Marlins on the money line.
They already won.
Huh?
They already won.
They played already?
Yeah, they won 8-1.
Matinee, buddy. Sorry.
Oh. You knew that, though. That's why we've got another pick.
I was just checking.
Now he loses his pick for that crap.
He was just making sure. He was just making sure. We were paying attention.
I was making sure. Every now and then, we gotta check and make sure everybody's paying attention.
Is that what it is?
They won 8-1.
That is what it is.
You know what? Based upon that,
give me Bo Bichette, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI.
Anthony, we can't let this guy just do whatever the hell he wants, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Seen
this, making sure everybody's
seen this song
locked
and
in.
dance before.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's paying attention, right, Anthony?
Yes. That's why I'm taking the A's over the Yankees.
Yeah, they played already as well.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
Twins over the Tigers?
You lose your pick, man.
No? Okay. All right. I will take the under in the Flyers Red Wings game. That's sitting at 6.
Really?
That's sitting at 6.5. I think that number's a little high. Give me the under 6.5. Flyers Red Wings. And Marsh did send us his pick.
Yeah, he did. He was way ahead
North
of
Dakota?
He's got
Snuggerud.
Jimmy Snuggerud, 3+ shots on goal at minus 135. Jimmy Snuggerud, 3+ shots on goal, minus 135. Bradford, you got a bonus pick for us?
Would love to have one, guys, as a matter of fact, but I'm actually locked in here on, you mentioned Marshy's alma mater, right? You've got North Dakota, as a matter of fact, facing off with Wisconsin in a matter of minutes, actually. North Dakota is favored in this one, if I'm not mistaken. Got to lean with the Big Ten country, Carey. I've got to go Badgers if you want a money line selection there.
Whoa, okay.
I'm doing
You want
it.
to win?
I'm doing it.
Bet the Big Ten.
Bold.
So you're going against Marsh's North Dakota Hawks.
Correct, because if there's any way to endear myself to the snake pit even more, it would be to do that.
Wow. And Wisconsin on the money line is plus 160.
I'm aware.
So they are a sizable money line dog in this matchup.
Bradford knows things.
I think he does.
I mean,
I really want to go with the association at all times, but I said to myself today, no, you give a little variety here, okay? Treat yourself on Friday. Go back to the NBA. Make it Frozen for today. Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
You know it, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Masters, if you're somebody that, I don't know, records the Masters and waits till you get home, I'm about to give an update.
Anything.
I'm about to give an update.
I wouldn't do it, man.
Well, okay. I'm just saying. I'm about to give an update. They can turn down the radio.
I'm warning you.
3, 2, 1. Sam Burns is tied right now with Rory. 67. They're 5 under right now.
Didn't Rory win it last year?
Mm-hmm.
He certainly did.
Back to back?
He's got. I don't know.
You think?
I don't like how you're being a little
That's a question.
passive
aggressive.
aggressive.
About this today, I think I want to play golf. I'm gonna start playing golf, and I think I'm gonna walk the course. I'm gonna start.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's a great
Take my
idea.
Saturday, walk the course.
Yeah, the people behind you will be thrilled about that.
Yeah, the hell with them.
I'd be driving.
They can go.
I'd be
They can
driving
go
up
around.
your butt all day long.
They can go around.
You want to walk, buddy? How about you dodge my drive?
They can go around. Then it'll be like, what's that guy on the golf course? The hockey player?
That's exactly who I was thinking of. I told
Nick
you.
Tarnaski.
Whips around. I told you. Guy's like, see, he's my friend. He's my friend, but
He did tell him.
I told you. We do need a new Gauntlet contestant, so feel free to text in the word Gauntlet to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. You'll have an opportunity to take on either CD, Jamie, or me. Bradford not available since he does the questions.
Yeah, you don't want to face him.
You don't want to face him.
He knows the answers.
Yeah, he knows the answers to the test. You will lose.
A lot of people apparently want that challenge, though. Release the challenge and maybe firing away a little bit at the question writer. I get it.
Well,
I get it.
You know what? First of all,
look, I outlawed spelling months ago.
We do appreciate that.
I think that was forced upon you.
Probably.
I don't know that you. Yeah, I think
you
that
didn't
was
go
more
willingly.
Gray area.
But I will say this: as somebody that used to write the 4 o'clock fight questions way back in the day.
Yeah.
Let's give Bradford a little bit of a reprieve here, okay?
It's harder than you think.
It's harder than you think.
What is?
Writing the questions every single day.
Yes.
And Bradford's got to do it for 4 categories.
You're trying to be timely, obviously, right?
You're trying to be timely.
See, this is where I get into trouble when you try to come up with some of that connective tissue. You try to be a little too cute with the current events, and then it turns into 2 paragraphs.
Well,
I'm just saying.
If Anthony wouldn't have fired Grant, we'd have somebody else to help you with the questions.
Oh, that was you,
Jamie. Bradford, quick question for you. The other day, there was a question about highest WAR in the NL Central last year.
Oh, yeah. Among position players, right?
Controversial.
Did you mean position players on that?
I originally did.
Okay.
And then I did realize, the exact number of 6. The Cubs fielding that pair of standouts, but the first inclination, Paul Skeens, that was very clever on your part.
Okay,
buddy.
all right. Because Skeens did have 7.
Oh, he was livid. He was livid.
I was not livid. I accepted it. Bradford.
I thought you took it like a champ. You took it like a champ.
I lost.
You went to that corner.
But I was wondering, since you write the questions, whether or not you meant position players or not. Yeah. That's all.
Mm-hmm. There was a slight omission. Totally.
Changed the whole answer.
Yep. It did.
Yes, I would not have gone with Paul Skeens then. If it was position players only. I also wouldn't.
That's when you said that Bradford screwed you with the question.
No,
I'll sit back here, but he'll deal with the hell come Thursday and Friday.
Wait till I see Bradford.
I do remember that.
Some people would have said from the bat, Nico Horner being a choice. That's a gotcha question from the beginning.
I probably would have landed on Nico Horner.
Really?
Because who the hell would have thought of Nico Horner?
Nobody.
No.
Did he have enough games to qualify for that?
Yeah, I think he had that's what I said. I was like, what in 2 games? Marsh is like, he played 152. Okay.
Well, that's quite a few games.
Screw you, Marsh.
Screw you, Marsh.
Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
A lot of fun things going on in the world of sports here as the spring continues and summer's right around the corner. We're looking at the NHL right now, the playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs right around the corner. The NBA's got their play-in tournament in the playoffs, and MLB is going strong. Now, you can get in on all of that fun by going over and finding the Circus Sports app. Get to the App Store or the Google Play Store. Find the white Circus Sports logo. Click on that. That is for the state of Missouri, and then you are off and running. They've got great lines on futures bets, great money line splits. How about player props and the parlays? If I was going to do a parlay tonight over at Circus Sports, I think I'd look at the Lightning minus 122 on the money line. I also really like the Pittsburgh Penguins on the money line at minus 112. You heard my over in the first period earlier for the Panthers and the Ottawa Senators, minus 145. Those three right there you can find over at Circus Sports. You can also find out so much more about Circus Sports and all the apps and all the fun by going to circusports.com today. Again, that's circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN. 4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Kerry Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh today. And we've got a brand new Gauntlet contestant. It's David. What's up, David?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
We're doing great. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for listening. Would you like to take on Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
Well, it's appropriate I'm on because I think you and me, Anthony, I was questioned that they stopped doing spelling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you said, I'm not even going to try that. Next question.
Nice.
Yeah, Anthony was pretty upset about it.
That was last year, right?
He beat me with the California raisin.
Oh, nice. Okay.
David.
That David.
So, I'm still ducking you, Jamie. We're going to go with Anthony.
All right.
Wow. Okay. All right, David, good luck to you.
Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
Anthony. Get out of here. Go work on your spelling.
No, thank you.
Well, Anthony heads off to the cone of silence. David, tell my guy Bradford to spin that wheel.
Bradford, spin that wheel, buddy.
All right. Now, we don't have the sound. It's not working today, which is, it happens.
At the moment.
I'm clicking in my head. It's okay.
Okay. What did you want today?
Well, like I said before, being the random useless information in my head will always need to go random.
Okay. Well, looks like you've got football today. How about
Okay.
that?
As long as it's before 2000, we're doing good.
Oh, man, I can't guarantee that. That's
I
for
know.
sure. All right, there'll be 4 questions, each of them worth 2 points. If you use the options, they become worth 1 point. Wrong answers are no points. And if we're tied, as you know, we will go to a tiebreaker here in the Gauntlet. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, question 1. Former 49ers star Dana Stubblefield had 53 and a half sacks in an 11-year career. What position did he play?
Defensive guard.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Thank you.
Question number 2. On January 8th, 2000, Gus Frerotte started the first playoff game of his career against Washington. Name the injured quarterback whom Frerotte replaced for that wild card contest.
Name the player he replaced?
Yes. Which quarterback did he replace?
Go ahead and give me the options.
Is it Charlie Batch, Scott Mitchell, or John Kitna?
Scott Mitchell. Final answer.
Okay, David, question number 3. For how many different NFL teams did wide receiver Joey Galloway suit up?
Stalter's good at football, too. Give me the options. I'm not going to get it on my head.
They are 3, 4, or 5.
Okay. I'm going to go with what my gut said, 3.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, David, last question, buddy. Here we go. Ricky Prohl's only touchdown of the entire 1999 season came in the NFC Championship game versus Tampa Bay. In what quarter did Prohl haul in that 30-yard pass from St. Louis quarterback Kurt Warner?
Oh, man. All right. So I was there. Been a lot of fog since then, so let me go back. Man, I know it was late, but was it that late? I'm going to have to say 4th.
Final?
Man. All right, my gut said 3rd. We're going to go 3rd. Final answer.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get our guy Anthony in here. How you feeling, bud?
I'm either going to love that last answer or I'm going to kill myself.
Well, let's not do any of that, no matter what the answer is.
Figure of speech, guys. Figure of speech.
Yeah, I know, buddy. I know.
I ain't going nowhere.
Good. We don't. That's what we want. Want you around for a long time, buddy. All right, Anthony, welcome back.
Thank you.
How was it going to silence?
Silent.
Yeah, really quiet.
Rude, yeah.
Kind of quiet in the building today.
Yeah.
I thought it was Friday. Usually Friday's when everybody scatters.
There wasn't a lot of people on the roads either today.
Yeah.
What's going on? Is it a holiday?
Party.
They're all going down to the Blues game.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big game. They're still in the playoff hunt.
Okay. Yes, they are.
It's still possible, Kerry. Don't give me that face.
A lot of things are possible.
Yeah, well, whatever, dude. Okay, Anthony.
Wow.
Your
Dropped a whatever dude right on him.
Your category today is football.
Nice. I like football.
Anthony, pack a lunch.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Former 49ers star Dana Stubblefield had 53 and a half sacks in an 11-year career. What position did he play?
Defensive tackle or defensive line. I don't know how specific you want me to be.
Very.
Defensive tackle. Final answer.
Thank you.
Question number 2. On January 8th, 2000, Gus Frerotte started the first playoff game of his career against Washington. Name the injured Detroit quarterback for whom Frerotte replaced for that wild card contest.
What year?
January 8th, 2000.
January 8th, 2000. So we're talking about the 99 season. Lions quarterback in a playoff game. There's not many.
That's true.
Except recently, of course. Wow. All right. Who would have been the QB for the Lions around that time? I was a senior in high school.
Were you?
Yeah, 99, 99, 2000.
Me too.
Really old.
You were probably a freshman in college.
I was a
right?
freshman. No, well, yeah, freshman in college.
I was playing for
January
the
2000.
New York Islanders.
The New York Islanders. Wow. Well, I mean, Scott Mitchell. But he might have been earlier than that. I'll take the options just to cut down on time.
Is it Scott Mitchell, John Kitna, or Charlie Batch?
It wasn't John Kitna. John Kitna didn't get to the Lions until I was in Detroit. That was like 05, 04, 05, 06. And I think Mitchell may have been before Charlie Batch. I also don't remember. Yeah, Mitchell was way before him. I think process elimination, I think it was Charlie Batch. Charlie Batch, final answer.
Stalt's question number 3. For how many different NFL clubs did fleet-footed wide receiver Joey Galloway play?
Joey Galloway.
From?
The Ohio State.
Good job, Anthony.
Well, he was a Buccaneer. He was a Seahawk. He was... he probably bounced around for a while. If I asked for the options, you're going to give me like 3, 4, 5, something like that. I'll say 4. I know he played for at least 3, but maybe he added one more. 4. Final answer.
Last question. Ricky Proehl's only touchdown of the entire 1999 season came in the NFC Championship game versus Tampa Bay. In what quarter did Proehl haul in that 30-yard pass from none other than Kurt Warner?
Fourth quarter. Final answer.
Okay, let's start with question 3. For how many different NFL squads did wide receiver Joey Galloway suit up? With the options, David said 3. Without the options, Anthony said 4. Carey, answer is
5.
5.
Seattle,
5.
Dallas, Tampa Bay, New England, Washington.
Wow, I don't remember Washington. Yeah, wow.
Okay, question 4. Ricky Proehl's only touchdown of the entire... Actually, we're going to hang on to that one for a second. Let's go to question 1. Former 49ers star Dana Stubblefield had 53 and a half sacks in an 11-year career. What position did he play? David said defensive guard. Without the options. Without the options, Anthony said defensive tackle. Answer is?
Any way you slice it, DT, defensive tackle.
You probably meant defensive tackle.
Guard
Nose
is
guard.
Called
tackle.
D tackle.
Okay,
Give it to
guys,
him.
well, what are you doing here? What do you want to do?
Sorry, give him 2 points.
Give it to him.
Okay. Hey. You just stay in your lane.
Yeah,
Okay?
you don't know
get
what's
to
going
say
on here.
unless you're over here.
Defensive guard.
Okay.
He gets 2 points. He also said anything before 2000, so that let me know, hey, defensive guard. He's good.
So the final ruling is that he gets 2 points.
Yes, he does.
All right, there we go. We are tied at 2. Let's go to question 2. On January 8th, 2000, Gus Frerotte started the first playoff game of his career against Washington. Name the injured Detroit quarterback whom Frerotte replaced for that wild card contest. David took the options and went with Scott Mitchell. Anthony took the options and went with Charlie Batch. Answer is
Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch. 3-2, Anthony. Going into the final question. Ricky Prohl's only touchdown of the entire 1999 season came in the NFC Championship game versus Tampa Bay. In what quarter did Prohl haul in that 30-yard pass from St. Louis quarterback Kurt Warner? David first said, I was late in the game. I was there. He remembers being present at the game. He said, my gut says fourth quarter. I said, final answer? He said, no, hang on, my gut's actually saying third quarter. Anthony, without the option, said fourth quarter.
Very
answer
confident.
is
I, too, was present for that one in the waning minutes of the fourth quarter.
Oh, David!
You have chosen poorly.
You lose! Not today. Dude, you even said to yourself, I better not get this one wrong.
Hey, what is
I remember crying after the game. I knew it. I knew it was so late, but yeah, it was such a defensive struggle. I figured, oh, maybe they did go a whole quarter without scoring again. But yeah,
dude, man.
Hey, thanks,
Right
Dave.
there, dude.
Sorry, man.
Great job, buddy.
All right, guys, have a great day.
All right,
You
thanks
too.
for playing. Thanks for listening, brother.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I felt bad. No, because he said fourth. Like
He did.
And then I said, final answer, long pause. I'm going to go with my gut third. Oh!
Isn't it amazing how your brain will do that?
Yep.
You'll start to
yourself
question,
out of it.
especially like in a moment like this where the pressure's on. You could talk yourself into it, like, oh, no, I was there for sure. Third quarter. Son of a. That one's tough. But
That's
yeah.
tough. Tough one there. Good job, Anthony.
Not a lot of thank you. Not a lot of scoring in that NFC Championship game at all.
Nah.
Was it Bert Emanuel that fumbled?
He fumbled. Sean King threw 2 picks.
What's the score? 13-9.
It's like 13-6 or something.
13-6.
11-6.
11-6. Well done, Bradford. Nice job. All right. Bradford, you want to do some mic drops here?
We do have a couple, sir. I say we get to them.
Excellent. Mic drop. Your mic drops on the Cardinals' performance through 12 games and or Jordan Walker and whether or not you're buying in. That's next on 101 ESPN.
We want to hear from you. Use the Scott Lee Mic Drop feature on the 101 mobile app. Give us your opinion on anything St. Louis sports with a mic drop.
Brought to you by the Scott Lee Heating Company.
pros and one average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Got a little technical issue here with our computer system.
You need me to fix it?
No, Jamie, I think you're qualified for the spot you have.
I'm really good with computers.
I don't think you are, friend. And I think you know that.
My dad's a TV repairman. He's got a great set of tools. What movie?
Cable Guy?
No. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Taking it back.
Yeah, man.
Wow. It's in the blood.
You're
for you.
welcome.
Thank you. So we can't get your mic drops, so we'll save the mic drops. Here's my question to you guys, though. Sticking with the Cardinals. Is this about as great of a start or as good of a start as you could have expected? Realistically, yeah.
Yeah, this is way better than I thought. Going into this season, it is very hard to do. I had very little to no expectations because I really wanted to try and enjoy the baseball season, thinking that it was going to be very difficult, and it might still get ugly. I don't know. So this has been a great surprise. I find this team exciting to watch. Now, is the bullpen fun? No, but you know what? It's adding to that roller coaster of emotions of feeling great. Oh, I hate the bullpen. Like, the fact that you can be mad at one thing that the Cardinals have going on, it means that, like, they're doing it right. Mm-hmm. They've got you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, life for me is much better when the Cardinals are exciting to watch and fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I have found them to be fun to watch and fun to talk about.
Yeah, this is the best start. I was never – I didn't have many expectations in terms of making the playoffs or being the number one team in the NL Central. I did not care. I couldn't care less about that. I'm speaking from a fan's perspective. I wanted to see players performing well, doing a better job than they have in the past. Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker, Victor Scott. I wanted to see those guys performing. I wanted to see what this pitching staff would look like. And with that expectation of guys performing better, then I would think that the wins would come. But for me, the wins and losses didn't matter to me. I just wanted to see guys performing well. And so far through 12 games, you've seen guys perform really well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I would expect a lot of Cardinals fans, if they were being realistic, to answer the question in a very similar manner. Like, I didn't expect the Cardinals to be playing this well this soon. They've won every series thus far except for the Detroit series. And while there have been hotter starts in their division, including a Brewers team that is 8-4, Reds 8-5, although they've lost their last two games, the Cardinals at 7-5, it has been a pleasant start. Scorpion in the Snake Pit also says very fun team to watch. They've been interesting, they've been fun, they've been compelling. They have given you something to watch every single time that they've played. Gator says, for sure, it's so nice to look forward to watching these guys play. Even when they lose, they're still fun to watch. Agreed. Splashback Deuce asks a good question. He says, what's a realistics mean? It just means, realistically, based on your expectations. What do you think about the team?
Yeah, I just...
I think he was channeling his inner Vladdy there.
Yes.
Splashback.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where it goes from here with these guys, time will tell. Who knows?
I mean, it's early, but so far it's been fun early.
Mm-hmm.
And
when do you guys, based on the recent PTSD that we have with this team, when will you start to, like, we're all having fun now.
Yeah.
When would you start to actually, believe that the playoffs could be a reality?
I won't.
How far?
I won't.
You won't at all?
Like ever?
You won't allow yourself at all?
Okay.
This is a damaged man, high
August-
walls, Jamie.
August 15th.
Okay. All right.
When's Flag Day?
When nobody knows.
June
It's a myth.
14th.
June 14th?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be very cautious as far as my belief in this team being a playoff team. I think I'll be pretty cautious with that. I think if they're playing meaningful games in the last month of the season, that would excite me.
Mm-hmm.
And they may not even be a playoff team. They might be kind of like the last couple of years where they're, 3-4 games back. But if they're playing games where I feel like I need to be watching, that'll be acceptable for me.
Okay.
June 14th is Flag Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give me 2 more months past that. And if they are, and listen, I've been in the situation. I've watched it with the Blues. I don't mean like, oh, you're 3.5 games back, but you got 8 teams in front of you. I don't care about that. I mean, literally, you're sitting in the wild card spot, or you're 1 game behind the one team that's in the wild card spot, or 2 games, but there aren't 5 or 6 teams in between you and said wild card spot. So that's where I would say, okay. But again, I didn't come into this season with playoff expectations. I came into the season with the hopes that the players on the field would play better, and they would be young, and they would have their mishaps, and they would have some highs and some lows and some right in the middles, and you would learn and you would grow from this season, and hopefully you could speed up the process in terms of being not only a playoff team but potentially a championship team. I think that's the ultimate goal. It's not, I don't think anybody sets out to say, hey, let's make the playoffs. It's not what you say in the offseason. You say 1, 2, 3 champs, world champs, national champs, Big Ten champs, state champs. Like, you don't settle for conference. Yeah, division. That's a byproduct of what the ultimate goal is. So I have no high expectations. I just want to continue to see good baseball.
For me, in the not too distant future, I'm really going to zero in on the stretch of games beginning a couple of weeks from now, April 24th, and finishing up May 6th. Now, why is that? Because between those 2 dates, you only have 4 games actually taking place outside of Busch Stadium. And for the first time this season, in 2026, you actually welcome in a gauntlet of real, legitimate opponents. You've got the Seattle Mariners. You've got Donnie coming back to town. Following a series then at Pittsburgh, you go up against the Dodgers. You go up against the Brewers. And during that time, you essentially have 1 day off. So we're going to find out just how plausible it is for this starting rotation to have any semblance of success outside of a Michael McGreevy, maybe even a Matthew Liberatore, and then what that period of time does to your bullpen as well. It was nice to see this group rebound after that opener, reel off 9 innings with just 1 run allowed. But that's when you get into the meat of the schedule. We all know that April is atypical because you have so many days off, right? You have so many days that are there in the holster. We're going to see before long just how capable this team can be against legitimate competition. It's happening soon.
That's Bradford Bruns, Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. This thought popped into my head, okay? And if the Cardinals want to call me and kind of, market it somehow, that's no problem.
You're already on the payroll, right?
That's true, too.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
Just win. Baby.
All right. Love it.
I think it's simple yet effective.
Direct and to the point.
And creative and outside the box and never heard of before.
Nope.
Sports Six Pack Part 1 is coming up, so if you got a question, send it in to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, taking your questions, sports or otherwise, next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Jamie Rivers here, and it is time for another one of my jersey giveaways. And right now, you can register to score a signed Jordan Binnington Blues jersey. Yes, beautiful Jordan Binnington Blues jersey. Gotta love it. Enter to win that autographed Binner jersey at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Jamie's jersey giveaway is presented by St. Luke's, ranked top 2% in the nation for cardiac surgery by health grades. Visit stlukes-stl.com. That's stlukes-stl.com.
This is Colton Parayko, and today is Blues Game Day on 101 ESPN.
Blues Game Day on 101 ESPN is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, the ultimate arena for wings and wins. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Round 4 on deck between Blues and Jets. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. This Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. In about 2.5 hours, the Blues will get underway against the visiting Winnipeg Jets, the fourth and final meeting of 2025-26. The Blues currently sitting 6 points out of a playoff spot with 5 contests to go. Winnipeg also in that mix. Our pregame coverage starring Alex Ferrario beginning at 6 o'clock right here after the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Tomorrow, the Cardinals kicking off a 3-game set against Wilson Contreras and the Boston Red Sox. Dustin May will get the nod in that one. Masters-wise, first-round coverage is winding down at Augusta. Sam Burns as well as Rory McIlroy, the defending champ, tied atop the leaderboard at 5 under apiece. This Sports Center update was brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Buckle up. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack Part 1 here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. The Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. So if you have a question, you can send it there. Bradford, question 1, please.
Question number 1.
Okay, guys, let's head to the ice from the 314. Jake Neighbors, let's play the projection game. Long term, do you think that he is going to wind up being more of an offensive force than Jaden Schwartz?
Wow. Than Jaden Schwartz.
Very specific.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a good question, Bradford. I don't know. Let's take a look real quick at Jaden Schwartz and his great hockey career. So Schwartz, he topped out at 28 goals in 2014-2015. Topped out at 63 points the same year. Since then, he's been 4 times he's been a 20-goal scorer. I think they're going to have pretty parallel careers, man. When I'm looking at the point totals and the goals scored, I know you asked me to pick one. I'll say Jake Neighbors has a better goal-scoring career than Jaden Schwartz, but that's just because I have to pick one. I think they're very similar in style of play. Maybe not style of play, but what they're going to contribute offensively to their teams every year. Yeah. I'll take Neighbors, though, just because I think he's a little bit bigger, got a little more upside to him that way. Here we go.
There you have it.
Question number 2.
All right, guys, question number 2 on this occasion. Let's take it to baseball. Tomorrow night, as we know, the Cardinals getting going with that 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox. What sort of reception do you expect former Redbird Wilson Contreras to get? And does any part of you still exist that wishes he still were here along with the youngsters?
Playing catcher. What? What happened?
Huh?
Playing catcher.
No, I'm good. I'm good with him not here. I liked him, too.
I liked Wilson Contreras.
Very much.
I like Wilson a lot.
I like Wilson. But
you wouldn't take him at catcher right now?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I would. Yes,
he
of course.
would.
Herrera.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
have both of them in the lineup.
No, Anthony said we can't do that, remember?
He did say that at one point, didn't he? He actually did say that.
He did say that.
He said you can't play both of them at the same time.
Can't do that.
Why not?
You did say that.
I did say that because we said, well, let's have one of them DH while the other one catches. I can't do that.
Why would I ever say that you can't do that?
You did.
You said it.
Ask yourself the same
I don't know why
question.
you said it.
I believe you, but clearly I had a reason for it outside of just you couldn't do it.
One of them got injured.
Yeah, it was like
well, if the DH gets in, somebody gets injured, and you lose your DH.
You
so
weren't
you
crazy
can't have them
for what you were saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you said it.
So both as catchers. So this is the time where you're both as catchers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you probably would have had to carry a third catcher.
Oh, really?
Which is par for the
what
course.
They're doing now.
Right, yeah. So I'm okay with it now. You're already carrying a third catcher. But
It's your fault.
But at the time, if they only had those
We
two.
didn't have both of those bats in the lineup because you said no.
Yeah. Because I said it. Bradford,
You
I
said we
it.
can't do that.
No, you were adamant too.
Why?
I know we kind of got a little bit of an argument.
Why can't we do that? You can't have them both in the lineup at the same time.
Well, then if you lose your DH, that would have been the problem.
Like I said, you weren't wrong in what having an opinion on it. It's just it's funny. It's funny now looking
hindsight
back.
2020. You'd gladly have both of them in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure.
Either
Let's
or
do it,
catching, huh?
baby.
Yeah. Grass ain't always greener, is it, Anthony?
Well, no, but I don't know if that applies here.
Jeez, he's getting a little heated over here. My goodness.
Carey's
gotta watch this damn.
Carey's been hard.
Carey's in full I told you so mode, and I'm just like, all right.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
You've been sitting on this one.
Nah, it just popped into my head when Jamie mentioned it.
Man.
I gotta watch these catchers, man.
Carey, I apologize.
Right now.
I like Wilson.
You and Jack Flaherty are the blame, man.
No, Michaelis backed the bus over him too.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if we understand the art of this conversation. I think that's probably the
it's possible.
problem here. Yeah. The art, the technique.
The art
of pitching.
Yeah, sure.
So that was the Flaherty
Jack
thing.
Flaherty was, yeah.
Moving on.
Question number 3.
The art of pitching.
Speaking of
And
fire,
you don't know self-awareness.
always a treat.
Bing bong boom.
Speaking of pitchers.
And you're an enabler. And you're adorable. Go ahead, Bradford. Sorry.
From the 314, outside of Liam Doyle, in which of the Cardinals' young prospects are you the most excited and interested for the next couple of years?
Liam Doyle.
Yeah. Take him out. Take him
Outside
out.
of Liam Doyle.
Yeah, take him out.
You know what?
Nobody.
I'll go with Liam Doyle.
They don't, Bradford. They don't listen well in this show. I just
What?
I don't see.
Preach, Carey.
They don't listen well.
Educate the masses here.
I probably would say Liam Doyle.
I knew he was coming. I knew he was coming. Well done, Carey. I tell you, I'm less interested in Quinn Matthews after a couple of rough outings.
Last year was rough.
Yeah, so he allowed 7 runs. 7's the number on 5 hits and 2 2/3 on
but it wasn't 11.
Wednesday in Memphis. No, you're right about that. Yeah, he struck out 6, but walked 3, allowed 2 home runs. Yep. Yeah. We're a ways away from 2024 Quinn Matthews.
Funny to think of just how far he has fallen or tumbled from last year early on, starting at AAA, seemingly being ready to be the next man up, summoned to the big league rotation. And now you'd have to say, at minimum, Dobbins, likely to arrive sooner.
Correct.
Fitz, he'd be in line first too.
Correct.
And then Matthews, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely those two for sure. And long pause, then Quinn Matthews.
What about Joshua Baez? Can we get some love for Joshua Baez?
Let's get him up here.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Love to see that. Yeah, I got to go with Liam Doyle.
Well said, Anthony.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good job.
Question number 4.
For you guys from the 636, we swing it back to the rink. What do the Blues need to do in the offseason to put themselves firmly within reach of a playoff spot entering next year?
They got to find a second line center. They got to find offense in that second line, consistent offense. I personally don't think they have it internally right now. I think Dalibor Dvorsky could get there at some point, but I don't necessarily want to just thrust that upon him right away. I'd like to see him continue to develop, continue to grow. I do think he's got good offensive upside. But, and there's going to be some interesting developments here. New Jersey, Nashville, Seattle, Toronto. These are all teams they're going to have brand new front offices as far as their president, general manager, all that stuff. Which means if you take over a failing business, you usually change things. Mm-hmm. Which means there'll be dance partners in the trade market for not just the Blues, every team that's out there, but there could be some potential candidates on some of those teams. Probably not Nashville because it's within the division. They probably wouldn't do that. But the other three, what can you find out by giving them a call? Mm-hmm. See what they're willing to deal, because what they currently have has gotten everybody fired already. So they're also going to look to make a change. And I think that's how the Blues might be able to find that second-line center, not just for now, but even for the foreseeable future. I think they could find a 26, 27, 28-year-old within that group that they could plug in there.
Love it. Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack coming up. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Keep those questions rolling in. Part 2 next.
The Blues play on 101 ESPN.
Big save on one end. Tie game on the other.
Tonight, Blues and Jets. Pregame at 6. Puck drop at 7.
Score! He tucks it in with a great move.
This is your exclusive home for Blues hockey. 101 ESPN. yourself in. You're in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack is right now. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Question number 5, please, Bradford.
Question number 5.
Guys, we may have a little more portal madness talk tomorrow as it relates to college basketball, but for now, this will have to suffice. From the 636, would you guys rather have Mizzou go to the NCAA tournament and lose for the next 3 years in round 1, or go to the NIT and win it all? Yeah.
Tournament, lose the first 3 rounds. Or lose 3 times in the first round.
So kind of like what they've been doing.
Oh.
What?
No.
What happened?
Wow.
What? Aren't they already doing that?
I'm not giving you the rim shot. I know you want it. I'm not giving it to you.
I'm not sure I asked you for that, but that's fine. To each their own, Anthony.
I would like to remind you all, this is a family program.
I mean, I was supposed to be here for 2 days.
And the kids are out of school. So
Man.
Yeah.
let's just keep it clean there, Bradford.
Jamie, that was... I don't know if that's what they've been doing.
Smokes.
What round did they lose in last year?
Oh, it's what they've been doing.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, first round.
Is that,
was
you
like,
were,
Miami.
You were spot on.
Yes.
You weren't. I thought you were joking.
They
No.
lost to Miami this year.
Drake the year prior.
Yeah.
Upset.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 years ago, didn't win a conference game.
No.
Oh, they
4
didn't
years
make it.
ago, they made it to the second round,
Yes.
in which they lost to a very
Probably celebrated that.
hot 3-shooting Yale team. Wasn't it Yale? In the second round?
Princeton Tigers.
Princeton.
If I'm not mistaken.
Same
Ivy League schools.
Ivy.
They got a lot of
Bunch of
ballers there.
bunch of white guys who hit threes.
Running back cuts all day long.
That's it.
Back cut, back cut, back cut.
Yep.
The NIT used to be a big deal. I kid you not. That was the cream of the crop. Yeah, if we're talking about 50, 60 years ago. But now, any opportunity.
I was like, when? When was the NIT?
You're older than I am.
Wow.
I'm serious. It meant
Not
something.
that old.
It was played every single year in Madison Square Garden. Okay, it had mystique.
Yeah, it's the
It
best
had
of the
aura.
worst.
Either way.
Still is.
But now, I mean, whether you're talking about 68 or 64, it's always the big dance, right? It's always the NCAA tournament. And despite what you think you have going into next season, at least with the incoming freshman, pair of McDonald's All-Americans, we know all about that. You may not have anybody else in the backcourt. Thank you very much, T.O. Barrett. If you don't reach the tournament and have some level of success, I'm not saying it's a make or break situation for Dennis Gates, but that seat gets very, very warm, in my opinion, Kerry.
You can't even sit down right now. It's so hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
you guys.
Break.
Come on.
Dennis Gates is going to.
Ego.
I said Sweet 16, man. I believe in the Tigers.
Like your style.
Yeah, I believe
He doesn't
in them, man.
mean it.
I do.
No, he doesn't.
I actually
There's
mean it.
nobody more in this room that hates the Mizzou Tigers than
I
Kerry
don't
Davis.
hate the Tigers, man. I told you I paid more money to the Tigers than
I
I
have
ever
too.
have to the University of Illinois.
If you've got a superstar, think about this season heading into the NCAA tournament. Think about BYU's main man. Think about KU, and if Peterson actually played the esteem with which he was held. Think about Arkansas and Kerry's boy, Darius Acuff Jr. Who's to say Mizzou can't get comparable production from Jason Crow Jr. next
Who's
year
to say they can?
leading the way?
There you go.
Well, I mean, we can do that all day
I know,
long.
but I'm just saying, like, we could all take up. Like, who's to say if the Blues didn't have Connor McDavid, they wouldn't be in the playoffs?
He's
They
got a
don't.
sidekick in the front court. He's got Tony Bryant. He was a stud in that game as well. You've got two of the best 25 recruits in the entire
Bradford,
nation.
What do you think they're going to do then? How well will they do?
In the SEC right now,
No.
you're still waiting to... No.
Will they make the tournament next year?
They're absolutely going to make the tournament.
Okay. Will they win a round?
They will win a round.
And that's that. We're going to celebrate that.
Could be Field of 68. Well, I mean,
I'm
relative
asking
to
Bradford a question.
You haven't you learned anything from the KU debacle?
Yeah, good thing we celebrated that.
Fairness, Jamie wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong then and still wasn't wrong. Still isn't wrong now.
To past performance, recent memory, would that be a pretty big deal? Would that be necessary for Dennis Gates? I say absolutely yes.
So if he wins one round, you're keeping Dennis Gates. After all these failed years that he's had.
I'm sorry, has he not qualified for the tournament in 3 of 4 seasons? And yeah, he had a no-show. He had a nothing burger in year 2. We understand that. There were reasons, okay?
Coach.
You're still talking. Hey, I understand. You can talk about
believe in him.
Lack of signature victories in the postseason.
Yeah.
But you're still, think about the situation, the state in which you found, which you had, that program, and yes, admittedly, without this surplus of NCAA victories, where you are now versus where you were a few years ago. Conzo Martin didn't make it 2, 3, 4 years.
I don't care about that guy either. Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Human being.
How many of the recruiting classes have we celebrated from Dennis Gates?
Are you talking about straight freshmen portal classes? It's actually not, because you're talking about portal versus freshmen.
All of it.
This is without question going to be the most celebrated freshman class Dennis Gates has brought to the program.
And I heard that a couple of years ago too.
One of the most celebrated classes, freshman classes, I kid you not, no hyperbole, in Missouri history. Why? Because you've got 2 McDonald's All-Americans.
That's great. Are they going to stay here though?
It's the era of being one and done.
But let's stick to the first question.
Sure.
Didn't we do the same thing a couple of years ago?
No, we really didn't.
Well,
not to this extent.
About
Not to this extent.
Michael Porter.
That was a different time. That was a different coaching staff. It was a different regime.
No, Dennis Gates had himself a good recruiting year just 2 years ago, I think.
He did. The bigger problem for Dennis Gates has been striking out in the portal. That's why.
But then whose fault is that?
Okay, but if you have the balance of freshmen and expected portal additions.
You're actually proving my point for me.
I'm actually not, because Dennis Gates has had more success in this position than anyone in Columbia, Missouri in quite some time. And you could say, okay, that's relative. Great. What does that mean for Missouri basketball? We're taking these tournament appeares and we're throwing them off to the side as if they mean nothing.
One game in a tournament.
You know what we don't have?
So I'm not ready to pop the champagne for that.
We don't have these issues at the University of Illinois. If you're out there listening to this right now and you want to play some basketball for a good program,
I
go
told
to
you.
U of I.
Don't trust this guy.
You don't have to worry about all this bickering back and first round exits. Illinois and Brad Underwood is where you want to be. That's it. You don't have to worry about all this. ILL. There you go.
Did Missouri really not show you anything this season?
No.
Jamie, down the stretch in the second half of league play, beating Kentucky, beating Florida, knocking off teams that legitimately made deep runs to the tournament. Yes, it was another first-round exit. Were you favored in that game? I'm not saying did you play well. There's a difference here. Were you favored in that game? No, you were not. You lost to the superior seed.
Also, young lads,
if you weren't
Mizzou
favored,
lost
that
by
means your team
40
wasn't very
to the
good.
Fighting Illini here in St. Louis. If you're looking for a program, even if you're a fan, we'll take you. Come on over. Did we win a championship? No, we got closer than some people.
I'm just not going to celebrate.
We didn't even make our conference tournament.
One game.
But we're rebuilding.
You are. It's Maction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Question number 6.
We're still doing it.
One more. Guys, from the 314, do you think, how much more, rather, freedom is Ollie feeling these days through the first 12 games of this season with this group of youngsters not having many veterans, just being able to operate on his own terms?
I don't think Ollie ever – I think there's a misconception about Oliver Marmol that he's – a yes man and he does what people tell him to do, and if he didn't do this, I don't think that he ever felt the pressure from the outside like how people assume that it is. I think there's internal pressure for you to win because you are a competitor and you want to win. But I don't think, I mean, if you look at and he has no real say in roster and construction and who's in and who's out and how that goes about. So if I got to play the guys that I got and we ain't winning, you can blame me. But if I don't got guys that can play well, we probably aren't going to win. And so I don't think he's ever had the level of pressure that people assume that he either has or that he should have. And Lee's famous foot rubs, we got a lot closer than your team.
Oh, wow.
Who's his team?
I would assume it's Mizzou. Because he said Mizzou and Illinois were both watching the championship game. We were actually probably watching it from Indianapolis. Not at home, Lee. Either way.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, guys. Sports Six Pack. We got our computers fixed. So we're going to hear from you. Your mic drops in the biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN.
Stupiracy. It's the podcast where stupidity and conspiracy collide. And in our latest episode, Riz and I revisit one of the most infamous moral panics in history and ask a question that sounds ridiculous. Were the Salem witch trials fueled by moldy bread? Stupiracy Season 2 is out now, including our latest episode discussing the Salem witch trials and the moldy bread mayhem. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube. Presented by CarStar, your auto body repair experts. Locally owned with a nationwide guarantee. Visit carstar.com.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Don't slow down. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN. It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day. Presented by Banner Construction, the experts in James Hardy siding.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 505. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So the biggest question of the day is the one that we posed for you in our mic drop feature. Cardinals performance through 12 games. When do you start believing? How do you feel about the team overall? And or talking about Jordan Walker and whether or not you too believe in him, like or what you're seeing. Like we kind of indicated yesterday, we had the conversation about Jordan Walker. So why don't we get to our gal, Janet?
The way the team's playing and the way the Walker is playing since he's recovered his confidence that Mo took away from him, the way they're all playing, I might be a Pollyanna, but I think if we could fix that pitching staff, that we'd have a contender on our hands.
Janet.
I like it.
I ain't mad at that.
I don't know if Mo stole the confidence, but
well,
believe it or not, it might just be his development. You know, this is just his development track.
Maybe
Jordan
that's
Walker.
how he lost his confidence. I don't know. Just saying. That's what Janet said. Potentially. No? You disagree?
How could you?
What?
Your problem.
What's your deal?
We don't blame Mo anymore?
No, we blame Mo for everything.
Oh, well, what the hell? What's the problem?
No, good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
Anthony forgot he's not on the payroll anymore.
Now I got dropped, yeah.
Mo dropped him.
What are we doing?
Like a bad habit. I don't think you're a Pollyanna either by saying that, Janet.
I don't know what that is.
Bradford?
It's more of an antiquated old term, guys. And so the sky is falling. Oh, don't mind me.
Call Janet old?
I did not.
I
The
just
term
he
itself.
called the term.
The term
Guys,
itself.
I'm just trying to make sure.
He said the term was old.
You mentioned listening issues, right?
Yeah, we got him here.
Bradford, I'm protecting you. Trust me.
Thank you.
You do not want the wrath of Janet.
No.
We love you, Janet.
No. Person characterized by irresponsible optimism and a tendency to find the good in everything. So it's
Oh,
actually
that's
the
Marshy.
reverse. Yeah.
That's Marshy.
Yeah, he's definitely a Pollyanna.
It's not the Pollyanna I know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Find the good in everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what would the first part say?
Something about optimistic.
Yeah, it did. It got there, but
The definition,
yeah.
the Webster definition of Pollyanna, a person characterized by I'm sorry, I said irresponsible.
Yeah.
Irrepressible.
Okay.
Irrepressible.
He said irresponsible. I'm like, I don't know.
That's
if
my fault.
Marshy.
Yep. I added an H when there was none.
Irresponsible.
Irrepressible optimism and a tendency to find good in everything.
So a lot
Marshy.
of emotion either way.
That's Marshy.
Riding the wave.
You call him dramatic?
I didn't say that. Those are the words that
He
came
said
out of your
emotional,
mouth.
and then you said Marshy.
No, I said irrepressible,
Kerry's right, though.
optimistic, and finds the good in everything. That's Andrew Marsh. That's a great
You know,
quality.
I'm glad you clarified that. For
And if
everybody.
you,
I called him a hopeless optimist
You
the
called
other
him
day.
hopeless?
Yeah, hopeless optimist.
well, so irrepressible, someone or something that cannot be restrained, controlled, or held back.
This
That's
man blessed
Marsh.
the damn couch, man. Come on, man.
He can't be
You
held
can't hold
back.
him back.
As in, Jordan Walker is on an irrepressible hitting streak, a power surge.
Way to
you go.
tie it all together.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony,
Bring it
get the
together.
mic drops, would you?
Okay. Let's hear from Brett.
I have been a fan of Jordan Walker ever since day one. Even the past 2 years when he was going up and down, like I was still a fan of him and just believed that he had the potential to do what he's doing now. And so I just couldn't be more ecstatic about what's going on. And so it just feels satisfying to know that, the Cardinals didn't give up on him, even, when he was going through all that. So it's just really exciting. And I have to give a lot of props to Casey Chenoweth, the assistant coach, because it sounds like he really helped unlock something in Jordan Walker that the other coaches couldn't really or had a hard time doing. So give a lot of props to him. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brett. Did I say add an H? I meant add an O.
Anthony, listen, man. We talk.
Walrus goes, add an H. I'm like, I didn't say that, did I? I think I did.
Yeah, listen.
Spelling is a non-starter. It's a non-starter.
We talk all day here.
Is it 5 o'clock? Yep, it is.
It's 5.
Definitely 5 o'clock.
10 after 5.
I'm not even drunk yet.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, Brett, great mic drop. All the way across the board. Excellent stuff. All right, let's hear from Is that Chester?
Oh, boy. Have fun, CD.
Snake Pit, gentlemen, all you hooligans out there, it's Chester. Just wanted to let you know that Jordan Walker's current run is actually breathtaking. Watching him hit home run after being told, hey, go out there and play, and we're not going to sit you down, is another masterclass in organizational reorganization. Hein Bloom cleared out the roster so that he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. I told you Hein Bloom would do wonders for you, and I'm really excited to see what this team does. Except for this weekend. We'd like to call it the Get Right Weekend for the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why I would care about that. I'll see you out there for all 3 games. And I really just hope the Red Sox go 2-1. Right, CD?
Oh, wow.
You know what,
That
Chester?
was well done.
As long as you win the last one. Wow. That's all that matters.
So for those that don't know, Chester's faced
well
CD
played.
in the Gauntlet. He won the first 2. CD won the last one. So 2-1. And Chester is a Red Sox fan. He did. I mean, to his credit, he did say, hey, you're gonna love Hein Bloom. He completely revamped Boston's farm system. A lot of the guys that they have now were either acquired.
Yeah, look how good they are right now.
Yeah, either acquired because of the what? Well, they got a couple of guys in there now that
they're working on it.
The Cardinals got rid of because they couldn't win.
Here, take our guys.
Mm-hmm. Here you go. I'll take the guys I drafted, please. I'll take those guys back. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Wow, I don't think we've done this in a long time. Get a Jamie's keys to victory.
I saw that find its way back on there.
Yeah. So
all 87 of them.
All 87.
All 63 of them.
I need them.
Jake Neighbors?
Needs them, wants them. Jamie Rivers, keys to the game tonight.
It's a big game, playoff style.
Plus, light the lamp. Next on 101 ESPN.
Want more blues talk? Check out the Last Minute Blues podcast with Alex Ferrario, Donnie Fandango, and Jeremy Rutherford on 101 ESPN. The guys bring you the latest news and nuggets on your St. Louis Blues.
The Last Minute Blues podcast is presented by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Your St. Louis roofing experts. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for free inspection. Watch or listen to the Last Minute Blues podcast now on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com.
Cheap, fun. Let's get dirty, St. Louis, with my friends over at Dirt Cheap. St. Louis's one-stop party shop. They really do have a lot of great things going on over at Dirt Cheap. The people that work there are tremendous. They're a huge help. If you're looking for a particular wine, bourbon, or any beverage for that matter, they're going to help you out. And if they don't have it for whatever reason, maybe they're sold out at the time, they're going to guide you in another direction. That's something you're going to love a lot. Look, if you're stocking up for any kind of spring events that are going on, you can find things that are top shelf at Dirt Cheap, or they're more budget friendly, whatever fits into what you're looking to do. Remember, Dirt Cheap is about the prices, not the product. They've got fantastic selection over there, and they've got a great app that you can download. Download the Dirt Cheap app. You can place your order online. You can place a drive-through or a pickup, curbside, all of that available on the Dirt Cheap app. They've got the Bourbon Club that you can be a part of as well. Just remember, you got to download that Dirt Cheap app with a great loyalty program. Every dollar you spend at Dirt Cheap earns you points that you can use in store, and I take full advantage of that every time I'm in there. You just punch in your phone number, and boop, you get your Dirt Cheap rewards right there. So please get over to Dirt Cheap, check things out. Lots of great things available. You can also visit them at dirtcheapfunfun.com. Again, that's dirtcheapfunfun.com. Whatever your tastes, you will find it at Dirt Cheap. Order ahead using that Dirt Cheap app, and remember to please have fun, but be careful out there.
Nominate yourself to be the Morning After Listener of the Month, and you could be selected and score a Form Energy prize pack. Sign up now at 101ESPN.com or TMASTL.com. The TMA Listener of the Month Club is presented by Form Energy. We do the work. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marshall, Anthony Stalter. So we talked to Chris Long the other day, and CD is heading to an event.
Yeah.
For Chris Long's
Ed
foundation.
Zone?
Yep. St. Louis Ed Zone. So,
awesome stuff.
Yeah, Kerry said headed out. He'll be back with us tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Tonight, you can listen to the pregame for the Blues and Jets right here on 101 ESPN. And, of course, you can listen to the game on the Blues Radio Network, which is also on 101 ESPN. Jamie, with Bradford in the house, he wrote it into our rundown.
He sure did.
He goes, give me them keys to the game, keys to victory.
85.
We'll stick to 5.
Roughly.
5 to 10. 5 to 10. It's up to you.
All right.
5 to 10.
Key for the Blues here, they got to have a better start than they did last game. You look at that first period. Now, albeit it was Colorado, but still 2 shots on goals. Probably not a great way to go about your first period. So definitely want us to have a better start tonight. You want to have better net presence. We talked to Jim Montgomery yesterday, and we talked about the struggles that the Blues have had to gain inside ice or get to the dirty areas. And he talked about players having to do that, having that mindset of getting to the net. My third key would be predictable for your teammates. We also talked about that with the coach, and we talked about it independently, but we asked Monty, if he sometimes uses other teams to show an example of how he would like his team to play. In this case, it was the Colorado Avalanche, where in the first period, they went low to high, puck to the net. And that opened up other opportunities for them as the game went on, to which they created more offense. So predictable would be good tonight for the Blues. Power play, got to find a way to get on track. Got to find a way to do some kind of damage. Again, you don't always have to score on your power play. It would be nice, at least once, but you got to gain some kind of momentum. Right now, what's happening to the Blues is their power play, their zone entries, I'm not a fan of. I'm just not. They get to the blue line, and hopefully we don't see it tonight, but if you are watching, you might see they do the old drop pass breakout, which is fine, and that breakout is designed to have teams where they're up in the forecheck, and then they have to stop almost at the blue line, so they're flat-footed. The Blues get across the blue line and go sideways, really quick to the board side guy. Well, there's always a guy standing there. So that player now has to make a really good play to avoid getting the puck checked away from him. When they're flat-footed at the blue line, would prefer, especially usually it's Robert Thomas who's carrying up the puck at full speed. I'd rather see him just snap the puck behind the defenseman and then go get it. And then everybody's going to go to that corner, relieve puck pressure, go to the weak side, have your other guy waiting there, then go low to high. Now Winnipeg is spread out. And all you had to do is shoot the puck in and go get it rather than going sideways.
Okay, but there must be a reason why they go sideways. So what would be
bad decisions, in my opinion.
Okay, so it's not a setup play.
It can be. Like if a team is backing way off and you get to inside the zone, you can go sideways and then have that player bump it back to the defenseman.
Got it.
But to me, it's such a condensed little area, that little square area just inside the blue line, about 10, 15 feet in by 10 to 15 feet wide. It's very condensed because even if your defenseman gets up there, he's right on top of you. So he's not, if you pass him the puck, one guy can now check two. And that's what you don't want on a power play because you have a man advantage. You want to make sure you're spreading out the zone to where the other team cannot do that. So the power play would be one thing. Key, 1B, and under that power play thing would be zone entries and having good puck possession. And then the last thing I've got for a key for the Blues is shutting down the Winnipeg Jets top line. Much like the Blues, they're top heavy. Scheifele, Connor, and Velarde do all of their scoring. Morrissey on the back end has got 54 points, but you got 97 points for Scheifele 89 for Connor, 64 for Velarde, 54 for Morrissey. Then it drops to 31 points. So that top line does all their damage. Whoever's out there against them has to do a good job of shutting them down.
Jamie, I've got a bonus question for you.
Oh, yeah, let's
We're going
go,
to fire
baby.
it away. As we know, several lineup
Dennis Gates
changes.
cannot coach the Blues.
Okay, fair enough. And I wouldn't necessarily vouch for that.
Just messing with you. Go
Because
ahead.
his last trip to Enterprise Center was so successful a couple of weeks ago.
I
But,
didn't say it. You did.
okay, fire with fire, right?
Yep.
Any way you look at it.
Guys.
I am curious.
We're good. Anthony, leave us alone.
It's fine.
Winnipeg, as we know, has played better hockey over the course of the second half, over the course of the last couple of weeks, winners of 4 of 5. What is it about maybe the makeup of this team that doesn't present for as much of a favorable situation for Pius Suter, as we know, out for tonight's contest?
I don't really know if there's anything to do with that. Really, because if you look at the Winnipeg lineup, they're not the big bruising team they used to be that you could kind of look at and go, okay, there's a size advantage here by having somebody bigger in the lineup. Pius Suter, I think he might have the most net front goals that the Blues have scored this year. So the size thing doesn't necessarily apply for him being a smaller player. I just think it's the coach's decision to give him a rest or make sure that somebody else gets in the lineup.
So we'll see him at United Center.
Yeah, I would say
Probably.
you probably do see him at United Center. If we're going to talk about the Jets a little bit here, a lot of people ask me, well, how come they were first in the NHL last year and now they're struggling to even be a playoff team? What I just said, one of the keys, they only have one line. This is why the Blues aren't a playoff team either right now. Even though that top line has been playing very well for them, the Jets and the Blues are very similar from the standpoint that they don't really have any solid secondary scoring. They just don't. And that's what's really kind of impeded them from getting back to the playoffs, and that's what's dropped them from where they were last year to where they are this year.
Thanks.
And a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shoot!
I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoot! Score!
We got hockey to learn.
All right, time to light the lamp here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie is well ahead. I mean, you are.
Yeah,
I'm not even being flippant. You're rolling right now.
Yeah. Give me that Snuggerud.
Give me that Snuggerud. So Carey's next, and he said Holloway.
Holloway, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to look up Marsh's play.
Oh, did he have...
He said Berggren.
Oh, Jonathan.
So Berggren is Marsh's. Just give me Robert Thomas. Seems to be a safe play here, Bradford.
I like it.
And for you?
Somebody else who's back in the lineup this evening versus Winnipeg. Give me the well-rounded player that is Otto Stenberg.
Wow.
A little banging and scoring on that third line.
There you have it. Otto Stenberg.
Otto Stenberg getting back on the board.
By the way, guys, have you happened to check out the most recent score between those Wisconsin Badgers and North Dakota?
4-0.
We've got, didn't double it up. It remains 2-0 halfway through the game in the Frozen Four.
Okay.
Woo.
Well, at least North Dakota's they've stabilized things defensively.
How stressed out right now do you think Marshy is?
If I know Marshy,
yeah.
Right now, watching this game, and I'm not poking fun. I'm just trying to put you into the mindset of a fan that took the day off to watch his team play in the Frozen Four, first time since
a long
time since he went to school. Right now, if I know Marsh, the frustration is at an all-time level, and he is what I would describe as in the pissing and moaning stage, where everything is it's all negative. He's incredibly upset. Everything's ticking him off. Inconsolable. That's where Marsh is right now.
I agree. I picture Marshy wearing a jersey. Mm-hmm. He loves those jerseys, and possibly the hat from North Dakota.
Definitely that.
And I picture him trying to be positive at times, like, "Oh yeah, here we go," mm-hmm. And then immediately after that, going, No.
Yeah.
What are they
What are
doing?
we doing?
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I hear a lot of what are we doing?
What are we doing? I just, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
We're thinking about you, buddy.
Do you feel as if semifinal number 1 is almost being treated like UConn, Illinois from last weekend? Everybody's waiting for Michigan, Denver, or are you looking at a pair of matchups actually more even on the page than maybe what we think? Because people know about the powerhouse that is Denver, of course, coming up tonight.
Michigan, Denver.
Yeah.
Whoa. I mean, that's a heavyweight battle right there.
Yeah.
I don't think people are discarding the Wisconsin-North Dakota game.
But it's the undercard.
It is the undercard, for sure. And Wisconsin was really the undercard on this one. Like, rich hockey history, but North Dakota was supposed to come in and just kind of boot stomp them. And that is not happening right now, which, in fairness to the whole thing, I don't really like it. One, for my guy Marshy, but I don't see Wisconsin being able to do anything against either Denver or Michigan. And so I'm worried because I think North Dakota matches up better. I'm worried that if Wisconsin pulls off the upset, which would be great for Wisconsin, it would be terrible for Marshy and exciting, but then the final may not be very exciting. That's what I worry about.
Okay. Good stuff. We have hot take or hot garbage coming up. So if you've got a hot take that you want to send us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. We'll get your hot takes or hot garbage next.
Tune in every Friday from 11 to 2 as BK and Ferrario broadcast live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center on 101 ESPN. E&B Granite, Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring. And presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea. Spread Zone, where sports betting meets reckless optimism, questionable logic, and the occasional stroke of genius. With hosts Anthony Stalter, Tim McKernan, and Scott Rizzuto. Check out the latest from the Spread Zone at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. The Spread Zone is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Jets and Blues readying themselves for takeoff. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. This Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. In about an hour and a half, right here on your home for the note 101 ESPN, St. Louis will host Winnipeg downtown. It is the fourth and final meeting of 2025-26. Jordan Binnington back in net between the pipes for head coach Jim Montgomery. Pius Suter, meanwhile, moving out of the lineup. Pavel Buchnevich back on that second line. Tomorrow, baseball returning downtown as well at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals kick off a three-game set with the visiting Boston Red Sox. Wilson Contreras back in town. He will face off against St. Louis starter Dustin May. This Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
Boom! Hot take!
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh. Time to play Hot Take or Hot Garbage. This is where you can send in a hot take to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646, and we'll discuss whether or not it is a hot take or we think it's pure hot garbage. It's that easy. That simple.
Pretty simple.
Yep.
Self-explanatory. The 636 wants optimism, guys, in the 5 o'clock hour. Hot take or hot garbage. The Cardinals will have 3 All-Stars.
Oh, wow.
3.
3, you said.
Holy Trinity.
When's the last time the Cardinals had 3 All-Stars?
Oh, not too long ago.
It's been a minute.
It's got to be a long time ago.
No, I don't think it was that.
There was a year in which you had, if I'm not mistaken, totally off the top of my head, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Ryan Helsley, correct?
Yeah, so that wasn't too long ago.
Did they all 3? Were they All-Stars the same year?
When both Arenado and Goldschmidt were nails.
All right, so 25, it was Brendan Donovan. 24, Ryan Helsley. 23, it was Arenado. 22, Goldschmidt. 22, Arenado, Helsley. 22, and, wow, Miles Michaelis and Albert. Yeah, because Albert, remember, he had the home run derby.
Oh, yeah.
He performed in the home run derby. Now,
Yeah,
that was a bit of a...
But he wasn't an All-Star.
I mean,
He
technically
was an honorary.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
Okay, well,
No,
they still
you know,
had
bad
they still
and
had
everything.
3
Yeah, I
points.
love Albert, of course, but he wasn't an All-Star player until after the All-Star
So
game.
they had 5 that year.
Wow.
Goldschmidt, Arenado, Helsley, Miles Michaelis, and Albert Pujols.
Okay. All right.
They had 3 in 21 as well. Arenado, Yachty, Alex Reyes. When Alex Reyes was their closer.
2-time All-Star Miles Michaelis. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he is a 2-time All-Star. You're right.
Yeah, yep, 18 and 22.
So the question is, do you think they'll have 3 this year? Yeah, I'll go hot garbage on that one. Who would their All-Stars? I know Jordan Walker's playing well, but will it keep going?
I could see Walker. It's going to be tough for like Burleson just because of first base.
It'd be tough for anybody else. You'd have to go pitching at this point, and then who's the guy? Like, I don't know about that. And a bullpen, I don't know about that. Like, I think 1 will probably be the number, and I think it's going to be Mason Wynn.
Yeah, so you don't even think Walker?
Buddy, we're 10 games into the season here. Like,
okay, but I mean,
I like what he's doing, but if I had to place a futures bet right now,
call me Buddy, by the way.
I did.
Jeez.
If I went on my Circa Sports app, the white logo, of course, for the state of Missouri, just click on that and you can get your bets in. If I had to do that, futures bet, I would go with Mason Wynn making the All-Star game. Not that I don't like what Jordan Walker's doing, but if I had to look forecast, I'd say that might taper off, and there's a lot of outfield competition.
I'll grant you that he has a better chance when that is in the National League. If he were to turn it around offensively, you would hope that this would be the year. Whereas in the American League, you're not leapfrogging Witt, you're not leapfrogging Henderson and so forth. Elly De La Cruz is always, regardless of the numbers, going to be penciled in. Okay, and you think about Lindor, you think about other guys at the position. They're going to be hard-pressed to have that mandatory, if you will, one representative. And I don't frankly care if you're getting the collective success as a team, but I'm not seeing more than one. No way.
I could see him get to 2. I'll say 2.
Who?
I think Walker, and then either Wynn or, I don't know if Burleson, just
Anthony.
I'm going to say 2.
Let's talk for a second.
Okay.
We all are celebrating what Jordan Walker is being able to do right now.
Yeah, damn right we are.
But you think he's going to keep this going and be an all-star?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, and he's going to beat out several other outfielders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a good one for you. Let's say that one...
You don't believe, but I do.
Ivan Herrera progressively plays more and more behind the dish. Gets that bat going, a position at which we know, all right, you don't exactly have this influx of offensive superstars. Could happen. Could.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't. We'll see, I guess.
We will see.
Good luck, Anthony.
Thank you.
All right, this one coming from Bishan about sports. Anthony, right up your alley, or so I think. We are warned here, forewarned. Extremely hot take. Tua wins the starting job in the ATL and leads those Falcons to an NFC South title? What? Hot take or hot garbage?
I'll go with hot garbage on that one. I think Tua does win the job purely because I don't think Penix will be ready to go. But I can't see Tua playing well the deeper that the season goes. So, got to go with hot garbage on that. And the Bucs seemingly have taken a step back, but
yeah, they have.
I mean, I think the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers making the playoffs last year was a total fluke.
No.
Bryce Young had some pretty big games. The defense was much improved.
You've got Tet now at wideout. You have threats.
Yeah, I can't get there. I can't get there with Tua. So, no. I think they'll come close. I think they'll win 7 games, something like that. Maybe 8. Seems to be their ceiling these days.
Perfectly fine. Fastlane fine, that
Fastlane fine, exactly. Yep.
Back to the 636. Hot take or hot garbage? Both J.J. Weatherholt wins National League Rookie of the Year, and Jordan Walker finishes the season in the top 10 in the National League in Ding Dong Johnson's.
No,
both of those things have to happen?
That I'm going to go with hot garbage.
Yeah.
Like you can get me to 2 All-Stars. I could see that. I don't even think I have to squint for that. But I'm not seeing J.J. Weatherholt being Rookie of the Year and Jordan Walker. What, leading the National League?
No, in the top 10. He's tied for the Major League lead, albeit through 12 games. He just has to finish in the top 10 in the senior circuit by season's end. That's it.
But
top
look
10.
at how many guys hit Ding Dong Johnson's.
I know.
I mean, I could see top 10. I can't get. I don't know.
So the Dodgers alone will probably have 2 guys, maybe 3.
Yeah.
The Phillies, probably 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already up to 5. The Padres are going to have something to say about that, too, with their lineup. Maybe 2 guys there.
Sure.
So we're up to 7. Who do the Giants got? Who am I missing here?
No.
Cubs. Who they got?
Devers, maybe.
He could be in there.
Could be. The Mets. We got Soto right there. So we're up to 8 or 9 now.
Soto could be out for a month.
Could be. Nationals, that James Wood guy might have something to say about it.
True. It's within the realm of possibility, though. Top 10.
Based on the start.
I just wonder if we're getting a little punch drunk on the start
Well,
here.
Of course we are.
Jordan Walker.
And we should.
Okay.
We should get a little.
But I don't want to be that guy that has to be all negative. I mean, yeah, you know what? Screw it. MVP. Ohtani, nothing.
Top 10 in MVP voting.
There we go.
Wow.
Hot take.
That, Okay, I'm going to go with hot garbage.
Why being so negative?
You know why. It's called realistic.
Yeah.
From the 618, we've wound up spending an inordinate amount of time talking about this today. The Wisconsin Badgers currently up 2-0 over North Dakota through 2 periods in semifinal 1 of the Frozen Four. The 618 says Wisconsin, the state, deserves an NHL team. Hot take or hot garbage?
Hot garbage. They don't know. I don't know. What is it? Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah,
place.
beautiful city. I like it. I don't know.
Not a hotbed for you?
I just don't think the market is big enough to support it. Like, people love hockey. That's great. But, like, their advertising dollars and things like, I go into the business side of things because, like, Quebec City can't get an NHL team right now. Now the Canadian dollar has something to say with that. But, again, that's my business brain. Winnipeg is struggling because they have a smaller market. The salary cap going to go up to, $130 million here soon. I just don't know if the state of Wisconsin has a team that can compete with, like, let's say, a Houston, massive market that the NHL's probably going to go to. Atlanta, massive market that the NHL's probably going to go to. I just don't know if Wisconsin would be enough.
Yeah, I don't know how you would identify a market there.
Yeah.
You're not planting a team in Milwaukee.
Like,
You're not going to Green Bay. Where are you going?
People would say, well, the Green Bay Packers do it. That's different.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers, it's like a religion first, and they pull from all over the place to go for 8 games a year.
Right.
It's not the same as 41 home games.
I agree.
Hot take or hot garbage from the golf world right now. You've got Rory McIlroy chasing his 2nd straight Masters title. He's tied atop the leaderboard after round to number 1 in Augusta. Hot take or hot garbage. If Rory wins number 2 in a row, he should be the undisputed number 1 in the world over Scottie Scheffler.
I still got to go with Scottie Scheffler on that.
He's more consistent.
Yeah. It would certainly be impressive given the back issues that Rory McIlroy had coming into the tournament. Had to withdraw a couple of weeks ago because I think it was after the first round. I don't know if it was the Valero Open or something that he had to withdraw from. Very impressive. One, I don't think he'll do it. I think it's a nice start, and that's about it. I don't think he'll do back-to-back, but even then, I still got to go with Scottie Scheffler, who's been the undisputed number 1 golfer in the world for several years.
And even struggling by his standards, entering the tournament,
right.
That is, with the driver by his standards.
Yeah.
But to wit, last season, everybody talks about that unbelievable moment there on Sunday when McIlroy obviously broke through, got his first green jacket. But for the year, all told, guys, he only piled up 3 victories. Okay, Scottie Scheffler can do that in any given month and did essentially in 2025. Maybe McIlroy becomes the owner, if you will, of Augusta, but from top to bottom, Scheffler is the guy on the PGA Tour.
Agreed. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What we learned, 3 stars of the day next.
It's Sunday Night Baseball, Braves and Guardians. Pre-game at 5:30, first pitch at 6:20. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN.
Hey, when it comes to your garage door, that is the heaviest piece of equipment in your house. If it is talking to you, any sort of squeaking, grinding, popping, anything like that, give my friends at Don's Garage Doors a call because they've got technicians that are well certified, well trained in fixing garage doors. You don't want to lose a limb or suffer some even worse injury because you're thinking that the garage door is some sort of do-it-yourself project. It's not. Leave it up to the pros. If you're already stuck outside your garage door right now, it's not working. They do have 24/7 service, an emergency team. If you're already stuck in the driveway, you can give them a call at 866-4-DON-STORE. Again, 866-4-DON-STORE. If you call by 10 a.m. for the same-day service, if they can't make it happen, you get $300 toward your repair or replacement. They can do replacement doors. They can upgrade your door if you're looking for something maybe a little more fancy. Maybe it's you have a garage door that does face the street and you want to upgrade the curb appeal of your home. Great. Don's Garage Doors, they can do that as well. And right now, throughout the month of April, tune-up service, $29.95. So less than $30. They can come have somebody out, make sure that everything is working properly. If they need to do some small tweaks, they can do it right there. Perhaps you'll save on a bigger garage door issue down the road. Call my friends today, Don's Garage Doors, 866-4-DONS-DOOR, or visit donsgaragedoors.com.
Two former pros and one average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or via the Dobbs Tire Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. Jamie, what'd you learn?
I learned that there are certain words that we have no idea what the definition is until we read them off of the Webster Dictionary. What was the word again today?
Pollyanna.
Pollyanna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's more of a proper noun, really, but okay.
All right, there you go. I just learned that, too.
That's a good call.
There you go. Always learning.
Always learning. Yep. Bradford, what'd you learn?
I learned, Staltz, that there is only one coach actually perhaps despised more than Eli Drinkwitz by our friend Jamie, and that would be Dennis Gates.
No, I don't despise him. I just don't think he's good.
Tongue planted firmly in cheek.
Yeah. Just don't think he's as good as some people think.
First
That's
back-to-back tournament appearances since 11-12.
You know what? The champagne's on ice.
Yep.
Let's celebrate.
For now.
Wow.
Anthony, what'd you learn?
I learned that Jamie is perhaps more passionate about basketball than he is about hockey or any other sport. Because when I have seen or heard a couple of different Jamie battles with people, two of which were against Bradford on the sport of basketball. So the fact that he is as passionate about basketball.
You guys don't know I like to hoop.
I guess we didn't.
You don't know.
Yeah, so that's
I
what I
hoop
learned.
at my house, too. I'm out there daily.
Sure you are.
100 free throws a day.
Good for you.
Perfection.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You never know when you're going to get the call.
You're right. Maybe Dennis Gates is watching.
You still got eligibility. So.
I do.
Yeah.
4 years.
Transfer portal edition.
There
Let's
it
go,
is.
baby. Let's go.
Bradford, hit us with those 3 stars.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day, presented by Circus Sports. No bet fees ever with the world's largest sports book, now at your fingertips in Illinois and Missouri.
All right, for star number 3, we're going to give a little love to Carey, who will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock sharp, to the Conference of Champions, even though it pains me to say that. Lots of references to the Big Ten today. Congrats to all of the schools making up $70 million in revenue from the NCAA tournament alone, men's and women's side. Very impressive there. Star number 2 goes to none other than that proper noun, Pollyanna.
Pollyanna.
And everything for which she stands. And star number 1 on this Thursday will go to the double trouble of rim shots and Mizzou hoops debate.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Clap for that.
Very well done.
Nice work, guys. Bradford, thank you for filling in for our guy Marsh.
Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
He'll be back tomorrow. How are we looking, by the way, North Dakota? Any sort of comeback?
Beginning the 3rd, still 2-0 at present.
All right. So Bradford thought, and I quote, I was just going to play the heel and take Wisconsin.
It's true.
Who is playing Marsh's North Dakota Hawks.
Now he could be the heel.
Wow. Very confrontational today, as you can tell.
It's tough.
Yes.
It's real tough. Yeah.
Tonight, Anthony, I
Yes,
want
Jamie,
to get this
please.
out there. We got an Urban Chestnut event. 2 places tonight. Catch the Blues game at the same time. Starting at Night Shift in St. Peter's at 7 p.m. and heading over to Shamrocks at 8 p.m. as well.
Nice.
We'll be handing out Zwickle Light free of charge.
There you go. Good.
Come on by, have some fun, have some laughs, talk some hockey, watch some hockey.
Beautiful. All right. All right, that'll do it for us. For Kerry Davis, for Jamie Rivers, for Bradford Bruns. I'm Anthony Stalter. We'll see you tomorrow, too. See you.